ನಿನ್ನಿಷ್ಟದಂತೆನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಟಿರುವೆ ರಾಮ, ನನ್ನಿಷ್ಟದಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವೆ ರಾಮ. ಕಷ್ಟಗಳ ಕೊಡಬೇಡ ಎನ್ನಲಾರೆ ರಾಮ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಸಹಿಸುವ ಸಹನೆ ಕೊಡು ನನಗೆ ರಾಮ. ಕಷ್ಟ ಸಹಿಸುವ ಸಹನೆ ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ರಾಮ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಸಹಿಸುವ ಸಹನೆ ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ರಾಮ. ರಘುರಾಮ 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 ರಾಮ, ರಘುರಾಮ 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 ರಾಮ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೆನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮ, ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿಹುದು ರಾಮ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೆನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮ, ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿಹುದು ರಾಮ. ರಾಮ 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 ರಾಮ. ಒಳತಿನಡೆ ಮುನ್ನಡೆವ ಮನವ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ, ಸೆಳೆತಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗದಂತೆ ಸ್ಥಿರತೆ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ. ನೆನ್ನೆಗಳ ಪಾಪಗಳ ಸೊನ್ನೆಯಾಗಿಸು ರಾಮ, ನಾಳೆಗಳು ಪುಣ್ಯಗಳ ಹಾದಿಯಾಗಲಿ ರಾಮ. ನನ್ನ ಬಾಳಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಹಸಿವ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ, ನನ್ನ ತೋಳಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಕಸುವ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ. ಕಣ್ಣು ಕಳೆದರು ನಿನ್ನ ಕನಸ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ, ನನ್ನ ಹರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಚರಣ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೆನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮ, ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿಹುದು ರಾಮ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೆನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮ, ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿಹುದು ರಾಮ. ರಾಮ 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 ರಾಮ. ಕೌಸಲ್ಯಯಾಗುವೆನು ಮಡಿಲಲಿರು ರಾಮ, ವೈದೇಹಿಯಾಗುವೆನು ಒಡನಾಡು ರಾಮ. ಪಾದುಕೆಯ ತಲೆಯಲಿಡು ಭರತನಾಗುವೆ ರಾಮ, ಸಹವಾಸ ಕೊಡು ನನಗೆ ಸೌಮೇತ್ರಿ ರಾಮ. ಸುಗ್ರೀವನಾಗುವೆನು ಸ್ನೇಹ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ, ಹನುಮನಾಗುವೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಸೇವೆ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ. ಹನುಮನಾಗುವೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಸೇವೆ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ, ಶಬರಿಯಾಗುವೆ ನಿನ್ನ ಭಾವ ಕೊಡು ರಾಮ. ರಘುರಾಮ 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 ರಾಮ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೆನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮ, ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿಹುದು ರಾಮ. ಇನ್ನಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೆನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮ, ನಿನ್ನಷ್ಟು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯು ಎಲ್ಲಿಹುದು ರಾಮ. ರಾಮ 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 ರಾಮ.
Hello, namaste once again. I see a lot of visitors are coming in, and this is a new hall. This is the first program, and I know there will be some more expected to come. There is a link that has been provided to the next auditorium, that is called KRG Hall. So those who could not get the accommodation here, they can kindly move to there. If you delay, you will be standing forever till the program ends. If you want seat, you can go and occupy the KRG Hall, which is ready with the broadcast. And in another 5 to 10 minutes, Dushyanth Sridhar will be here, and we are ready to start the program. Namaste.
पूर्णनी प्रकटनी आनंद रामा, हरनी ने हरि
Hello? Hello? Okay, not in the I am already online. I am already online. Okay. Hall full ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? Oh, okay. Natural. Okay. Very good, very good. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. Right, right, right. ಅದೇ right.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಭಾರತೀಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭವನದ ESV ಸಭಾಂಗಣ ಈ ನವೀಕೃತ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಾವು ರೂಪಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಗ ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲು ನಮ್ಮ ಗಮನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ದುಷ್ಯಂತ್ ಶ್ರೀಧರ್ ಅವರ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಸಹಸ್ರನಾಮದ ಪ್ರವಚನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅವರ ಕುಟುಂಬದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ, ಭವನದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದ ರಾಘವನ್ ಅವರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಈಗ ದುಷ್ಯಂತ್ ಶ್ರೀಧರ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದು ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳಗಿಸಿ ಮತ್ತು ತದನಂತರ ರಾಘವನ್ ಅವರು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಅವರು ಬರಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಮೆರಿಕದಿಂದ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವರೇ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ರೂಪಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. May I now request our chairman, Sri K.G. Raghavan, who is there now in Connecticut, to formally welcome the Dushyanth Sridhar. Raghavanji, can you hear me? Hello? Raghavanji, can you hear me? Hello? Raghavan? I think. Please. You can speak, Raghavan. Raghavan, can you please speak?
ಶಬ್ದ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಬಾಳ
ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ.
ಅದಲ್ಲ.
Please carry on. Raghavan.
Respected Sri Dushyanth Sridhar ji, ladies and gentlemen. Sri Rama Rama Rameti, Rame Rame Manorame, Sahasranama Tatulyam, Ramanama Varanane. With this prayer, I respectfully invite all of you to this very important occasion in the newly renovated ESV auditorium. We could not have started using this auditorium in a better way than with the discourse on Sri Vishnu Sahasranama by none other than Sri Dushyanth Sridhar ji. It is said that in the Kali Yuga, the only way of praying to the Lord for the well-being of the entire humanity is by the chanting of his names. And Vishnu Sahasranama is one of the most important methods of chanting his name. In Vishnu is Stotrapriya, and therefore it is very appropriate that we are now starting the program with a discourse on the themes and messages of Sri Vishnu Sahasranama. In this world or samsara, in this poisonous tree of samsara, there are two important fruits. Samsara vishavrukshasya dvefale amritopame kavyamrita rasa swadaha sangatis sujane jane. In this gathering, we have both the recitation of the divine song of the Lord, and also we are in the company of like-minded divine people, namely all of you. We have both Kavya and Sangatis. That is the benefit of today's program. Ultimately, the object of all of us is to attain moksha, to get rid of the birth of death ends. And it is therefore that we are gathered here to spend these next few minutes listening to the praise of the Lord. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nishtaratatvam, nishtaratatve jivan muktihi. And it is towards attaining jivan mukti that all of us are striving in this world, irrespective of religion, creed, caste, nationality or color. And I hope that this is going to be the beginning of a long journey towards helping every one of us to attain moksha by reciting the Lord's name for at least the few minutes we are going to be in the presence of Sri Dushyanth Sridhar ji. I heartily thank him for having agreed to come to Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan to render this very important lecture on Sri Vishnu Sahasranama. I do not want to stand between you and Sri Dushyanth Sridhar ji, and shall rest by thanking him once again for being present today to deliver this lecture. Thank you very much, sir, and may God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Raghavan, for your welcome address. Of course, I am sorry because of so many technological problems. That is the gift that we have got it today. So, some embarrassing moments both for us and you over there, and I apologize for that. Now, may I request Dushyanth Sridhar ji to please come and be seated, and I request our P. Venugopalan, the Joint Director, to formally introduce him.
Let me introduce Sri Dushyanth Sridhar.
Sri Dushyanth Sridhar is one of the most sought after public speakers in Sanatan Dharma who renders discourses in English and Tamil. He has rendered over 3,000 discourses in 125 cities across 23 countries. He enjoys a wide spectrum of audience, following on YouTube with over 1.2 lakh subscribers and 30 million views. He manages a website called www.desikadaya.org with over 1,200 hours of free content and a Vedic e-learning portal called Abhinava e-Patasala that provides courses to 6,500 learners across 40 countries. His Twitter handle is one of the select few that Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji, follows. He has produced and directed Shakuntalam, the acclaimed Sanskrit movie. He has also acted in the movie Vedanta Desika as the protagonist, besides penning his story and dialogues. He has authored a coffee table book on Vedanta Desika that has been critically acclaimed and is best-selling in its genre. He organizes heritage tours and conceptualizes dance productions. He manages Desika Daya, a charitable trust that has donated and sponsored cultural activities for over 4 million Indian rupees. He is a recipient of coveted titles like Sarvakala Chudamani and Arikata Bharati. He was declared a global 30 under 30 by BITSA. He is an alumnus of BITS Pilani and interned at the Indian Institute of Science as an IAS fellow. He currently lives with his family in Bengaluru. On behalf of Bharati Vidyabhan, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. And I request Sri Suresh ji to honor him. I would also like to call upon the sponsors of this event, Sri Srinivas and Badri Councils. Over to Sri Dushyanth Sridhar.
Before I commence the lecture, there may be about 5 or 10 people whose hands and legs can bend, can come and sit here. Because there are many people standing behind. And if you're sure that you're going to stay for the entire duration, you can come. And you can give chairs to the elderly people. Please come. I won't ask any questions. Come. Is there a way to increase its height? Iವಾಗ close ಮಾಡಿ, lock ಮಾಡಿ. Yeah. ராமானுஜ தயாபாத்திரம் ஞான வைராகிய பூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத் வெங்கடநாதாரியம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம் லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாதயா முனமத்தியமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம் யோ நித்யம் அச்சுத பதாம்புஜ யுக்மருக்ம வியாமோஹதஸ்ததிதராணி த்ரிணாயமேனே அஸ்மத் குரோர் பகவதோஸ்ய தயைக சிந்தோஹோ ராமானுஜஸ்ய சரணௌ சரணம் பிரபத்யே மாதா பிதா யுவதயஸ்தனயா விபூதிः சர்வம் யதேவ நியமேன மதன்வயானாம் ஆத்யஸ்ய நः குலபதேர் வகுளாபிராமம் ஸ்ரீமத் ததங்கிரி யுகலம் பிரணமாமி மூர்धना பூதம் சரஸ்ச மகதாஹ்வய பட்டநாத ஸ்ரீபக்திசார குலசேகர யோகிவாஹான் பக்தாங்கிரேணு பரகால யதீந்திரமிஸ்ரான் ஸ்ரீமத் பராங்குஷமுனிம் பிரணதோஸ்மி நித்யம். நாராயணம் நமஸ்கிருத்ய நரஞ்சைவ நரோத்தமம் தேவீம் சரஸ்வதீம் வியாசம் ததோ ஜெயம் உதீரயேத். வியாசம் வசிஷ்ட நப்தாரம் சக்தேஃ பௌத்ரம் அகல்மஷம் பராசராத்மஜம் வந்தே சுகதாதம் தபோநிதிம். வியாசாய விஷ்ணுரூபாய வியாசரூபாய விஷ்ணவே நமோ வை பிரம்மநிதயே வாசிஷ்டாய நமோ நமः. அச்சதுர்வதனோர் பிரம்மா த்விபாஹுர் அபரோஹரிः அபாலலோச்சனः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः. वन्दे गोविन्दतातौ मुनिमथमनवै लक्ष्मणार्यं महान्तं ध्यायेयं यामुनार्यं मम हृदि तनवै राममेवाभियामं पद्माक्षं प्रेक्षशीय प्रथमपि मुनिं नाथमीडे शठारिं स्तौमि प्रेक्षेय लक्ष्मीं शरणमशरणश्रीधरं संशयेयं. நாமமாயிரம் ஏத்த நின்ன நாராயணா நரனே உன்னை மாமித்தன் மகனாக பெற்றாள் எமக்கு வாதைத்த விருமே. காமன் போதரு காலமென்னு பங்குனின் நாட்களே பாரித்தோம் தீமை செய்யும் ஸ்ரீதரா எங்கள் சிற்றில் வந்து சிதையேலே. Namaskaram to the August gathering here. An auspicious occasion for many very reasons. I understand that I have been given the fortune to address on a very, very sacrosanct topic in the inauguration of such a beautiful hall. So, my heartfelt thanks and obeisances to the members of the Bharati Vidya Bhavan, its board, its serving volunteers, and of course, to the sponsors, and to such a receptive, let me add the word hopefully receptive audience. Is there a way that we can reduce this? Well, am I audible? Yeah. As I continue speaking, I'll get more audible. Bharatah Panchamo Vedaha Jamata Dashamo Grahaha is a Prachina Subhashitam. We don't know where this came from, but it's been told for a very long time. Bharatah Panchamo Vedaha. If at all there is one Adhara Pramanam in Sanatana Dharma, which is the quintessence of the Vedas, it is Mahabharata. As and when I get into the topic, we will see where it actually brings the quintessence of the Vedas in it. Bharatah Panchamo Vedaha. If at all there is the fifth Veda, because there is no fifth. How many Vedas are there? You just now said before 3 minutes you won't ask questions. Why are you asking questions? So there are 4. In reality, there are only 2. Let's see how. But if at all there is a fifth Veda, there is a status of fifth Veda that can be accorded to one of the scriptures, it is Bharata. Like how the I'm not talking of the sons-in-law these days. In those days, they were a admixture of all problems in the family. So the incoming son-in-law will cause more turmoil in the family. So he was treated as the 10th graha. There was no 10th graha. So Bharata Panchamo Vedaha Jamata Dashamo Graha. Like how the incoming son-in-law is the 10th graha, so is the Mahabharata. So now people will never forget Mahabharatam. Because the line says about the son-in-law. So if you remember the latter half, you will have to remember the former two. So Bharata Panchamo Vedaha. In that Sri Mahabharatam, which is treated or accorded the status of the 5th Veda, there are 5 Ratnas in it. One is a conversation which Dhritarashtra has with his brother called Vidura. See, you have to be very careful while you pronounce words. If you stress on the da, making it Vidura, the meaning will change, because in Sanskritam, Vidura means widower. Vidura means wise. So, the conversation that lasted between Dhritarashtra and Vidura is called Vidura Niti. That is one Ratnam. The conversation that lasted between Dhritarashtra and Sanat Kumaras became Sanat Sujatiyam. Then comes the conversation between Yaksha and Yudhishthira, which is called Yaksha Prashnam. This is one work which is not called by its answer. It seems the questions were more beautiful than the answer. So it was called Yaksha Prashnam. And the conversation that happened between Arjuna and Krishna is Bhagavad Gita. And then comes the conversation between Yudhishthira and Bhishma, Gangeya, which is Vishnu Sahasranamam. So Mahabharatam is the 5th Vedam. The 5th Veda in Mahabharatam houses 5 gems called as Vidura Niti, Sanat Sujatiyam, Yaksha Prashnam, Bhagavad Gita and Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. So today I have the fortune to be speaking about Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. Besides today, I will be talking about it tomorrow as well. So it is a series. Don't think I'll be repeating, because most serials, if they are telecast this day, the same thing will be repeated tomorrow. There's another part tomorrow which is important. So okay. So, in Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam, what is the Sahasranama Bhagam? We need to understand when this occurred. In Sri Mahabharatam, the Adi Parva completely talks about Garuda Upakhyanam, and then how the Pandavas were born, how the Dhartarashtras were born. The sons of Dhritarashtra are Dhartarashtras, how they were born. And how was the little enmity that developed between these two sets of brothers? And then we have the Utpannam of Draupadi. Then we have Draupadi's Swayamvaram. And then the Sabha Parva. And then as a result of the gambling that happened, what happened? Where did they go? Forest. You have all seen that, right? Because they gambled, they went to the forest. Wrong. At the end of gambling, when Gandhari reminds Dhritarashtra that what he has been witness to is something which is not righteous, he gives back the kingdom what they have lost. Indraprastha is given back to them. They could have very well gone back. But Draupadi calls her husbands to the Antahpuram, which is Shuddhatma, and tells them, this kingdom which is stained in my insult and my menstrual blood should not be taken back. Because Ekavastra Rajaswala, while she was menstruating, she was not given even the basic courtesy of resting. She was pulled to the court. So she said, I will not take back this Rajya. Then Yudhishthira asks, what should I do? You now go and invite them for gambling.
I'm sure you will terribly lose. You say that the person who has lost should do a prayaschittam. They did. That is when Shakuni intervenes. He says, well, you have now come for gambling again. Now, after 12 years of Vanavasam, I introduce one rule. That was very new then. It was called the year of incognito, Ajnatavasam. And if you're spotted before the Ajnatavasam ends, you'll have to repeat the 12 plus 1 again. Draupadi said, you say yes because I have my friend Krishna who will guide us. You say yes. He agreed. They went to the Vana. That is when we have the Vana Parva, the third Parva, Adi Parva, Sabha Parva, Vana Parva. Towards the end of Vana Parva, in Araneyaka Upaparva is where comes Yaksha Prashnam. And after that, they live for 1 year of incognito in Matsya Desham, which is called Virata Parva. Then after Virata Parva is when comes Udyoga Parva. And then we have Bhishma Parva. Bhishma Parva is a very large Parva. The entire Ramayanam of 24,000 shlokas is close to one Parva called Bhishma Parva. So then Bhishma starts fighting. Bhishma then goes to the bed of arrows. Then after that comes Drona, Karna, Shalya, Ashwathama, Sauptantika Parva comes. After that, when he is lying on the bed of arrows, when all the sons of Dhritarashtra are dead, and Yudhishthira was ordained to become the king of Hastinapura, he has certain doubts in administration. In those days, people who ruled were educated. So, they said, I want to enhance my understanding of administration, and I also want to understand the path to moksham better. What should I do? That is when Krishna says, you go to your own predecessor called Bhishma, who is a repository of knowledge. You go to him and ask. See, imagine a situation. Imagine Maninalli ನನ್ನ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಗೊಜ್ಜ ಅವಲಕ್ಕಿ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Imagine. She makes wonderful food, and especially if being coaxed to tell one dish which she makes the best, gojja avalakki. When she is living hale and healthy, I won't ask the recipe. When she's in the ICU, people are unsure whether she will be discharged or the Atma will get discharged. Then when she's in the ICU, I go tell her, please tell me the recipe of gojja avalakki. All these days, Yudhishthira had no questions. When Bhishmacharya, Sharatalpa Gato Bhishma, when he's lying on the bed of arrows, he says, can you please tell me Moksha Dharma and Rajya Dharma? But Bhishma is very happy, he tells all this. Then Yudhishthira makes note of it and comes back to his kingdom. Again, there were a few questions which were in his mind. He wants to go and ask him again. That is when comes the concept of Shat Prashni. He goes back. He says, Shrutva Dharman Aseshena. He says, Dharman Aseshena. I have listened to everything. Yudhishthira Shantanavam Punarevabhya Bhashata. Now Shantanava, Shantanu's son, Gangeya, and Yudhishthira, they started talking. When two great people talk, the compendium will be precious, will be matchless. That is how he asks 6 questions. Kimekam daivatam loke, kimva pyekam parayanam. 6 questions. It's called Shat Prashni in Sanatana Dharma. And the answers are given. Correct? This is how we have put this in the Purva Bhagam. But what is Sahasranamam? Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro till Sarva Praharana Yudha. That is the set of 1,000 names he cited. Then this Dharmarthi Prapuniyat, Dharmam Artharthi Chartham Apuniyat, that all came later by the other rishis. That was added. So Sahasranama Bhagam is only this much. For this Sahasranama Bhagam, we have Adi Shankaracharya around the 8th century AD. There is little difference here in the time period. Let us not get into that. Let us leave it to historians and scholars. As per Sringeri records in the 8th century AD, he gave us a bhashyam called as Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashyam by Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada. Around the 11th century, we had a commentary called Bhagavad Guna Darpanam by Parashara Bhatta, who was the illustrious son of an illustrious father called Kuresha, the prime disciple of Ramanuja in the 11th century. Then we have one Acharya in the Dvaita Sampradaya from the Uttaradi Matham, Satyasanda Tirtha, who gave us a Bhashyam. So we have Advaita Parabhashyam, Vishishtadvaita Parabhashyam, and Dvaita Parabhashyam from Shankara, Ramanuja, and Madhva schools. The beauty is, though the aphorisms or the postulates given by these three schools may have differences, in Sahasranama Bhashyam, 98% they are quite agreeable on the way they interpret the names. Maybe there'll be slight differences. Given the period, political scenario that we are in, I am duty bound to not talk about the differences. So forget the differences. I will just talk about those which are the similarities, which is 98%. Why should we bother about that 2%? Let us leave to that 0.01% of the Indian scholars who do that. Let's leave it to them. Remaining 99.999, we are in one Goshti. Now, today, from Bhagavad Guna Darpanam, Parashara Bhatta begins that there are 6 characteristic features of Vishnu Sahasranamam. It is very, very important that you listen to every minute of this lecture, because it's very easy to find people giving motivation lectures. Get up in the morning, say it to yourself, you feel good, look at the mirror and talk. All this I am not here to talk. In my humble opinion, IMHO, this is how Twitter abbreviates that. IMHO, I feel reading and listening to Vishnu Sahasranamam is motivation. We don't need to listen to those thoughts, feel good about it, these one-liners. We get those WhatsApp, nothing. Vishnu Sahasranamam is motivation. In my opinion, you may have a difference of opinion, you're free to, because every case goes to the court now, don't file a case against me, you have the right to opine. Parashara Bhatta talks about 6 essential and distinguishing characteristic features of Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. The first one, Mahabharata Saratvat. I'll keep asking you this again and again, you have to remember. Rishibhif Pariganataha, Vedacharya Samaharat, Bhishmotkrishtha Matatvataha, Parigrahati Gita Taikartha Kaschanaha. These are the 6 characteristic features of Sri Vishnu Sahasranam. Let us go into each attribute one by one. Mahabharata Saratvat. He says, Vishnu Sahasranamam is the essence of Mahabharatam. What is Mahabharatam? Bharatam is the essence of Vedas. How many Vedas are there? 4. No. 3. No. 2. Remember, if at all we have to classify the mantras, the way the hymns appear in the Vedam, you can basically classify them into 2. One is Gadyam, the other one is Padyam. That which is poetic in nature, that which is prose in nature. Generally, that which is poetic in nature is only that is worthy to be sung. Prose cannot be sung that easily unless and until you have a marvelous Vedanta Deshika who has created something called Raghuvira Gadyam. Otherwise, Gadyams are never meant to be sung. Padyam is what is meant to be sung. So, Samaveda is the song form of the Vedas. So, that is a replica of Rigvedam. So, Rigvedic hymns and Samavedic hymns, if you have to do it in set theory, the intersection will be very high because the mantras found in Sama and Rig are quite the same. Just that you recite it in a Rig fashion in Rigvedam and you sing it in Samavedam. So Rig and Samam can be treated as one. Then there is Yajurvedam. So there are 2. So Rig is equal to Samam is one Veda. Second is Yajur. Sir, what is the one left? Atharvana Vedam is a compilation of the first 3. So you can call Vedas 2. But the moment you distinguish them as poetic style and singing style, then it becomes Rig Yajuhu Samam. No, sir. Even the compilation of certain mantras from the first three should be given importance, then it becomes 4. So, many places you will find Trayi Veda, the word. Then you may be wondering, no, there Chatvaraha. Because Atharvanam is found in all the other 3. So, you have got 4. Correct. Now, the essence of the 4 is the 5th one, which is Mahabharatam. The essence of Mahabharatam is Vishnu Sahasranamam. So, if you recite Vishnu Sahasranamam, it won't be technically wrong for you to state to another person that I have recited the Vedas. Technically, you won't be wrong. Though, theoretically, you have to recite the Vedas to recite Vedas. But the essence of Vedas is what is found in Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. So, the first feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam is Mahabharata Saratvat. So, what is the Saram of Mahabharatam? Who is the, first of all, let us go into who is the hero of Mahabharatam? Yudhishthira. See? Why is Yudhishthira the hero? Because, see, for us we may be doubtful, sir, Yudhishthira? He is the one who mindlessly agreed for that gambling, game of dice. See, he was not an expert at it. He had just begun his 30-day crash course. Just begun. And he is competing with Shakuni. See, we may have differences of opinion with Shakuni, his thoughts about Hastinapura and so on. But undoubtedly Shakuni was super intelligent. We can't deny that. He was very intelligent. But why don't we talk Shakuni in such superlative terms when we talk about Mahabharatam today? Because it was his misfortune that he found somebody 100 times more intelligent than him called Krishna. His Jatakam had a mistake. Otherwise, Shakuni is super intelligent. So when we get back to Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam or Mahabharatam, how could Yudhishthira be the hero? Because when you look at Yaksha Prashnam, that one episode of Yaksha Prashnam that occurs towards the end of Vanaparva, Draupadi was left to fend for herself. He had to come and bring his brothers back to life. At that point in time, when he finds his 4 brothers lying like corpses on the ground by the banks of a lake, comes a ethereal voice which says, answer my questions and then drink the water. We'll have to die thirsty if somebody gives us this task. Answering questions and then drinking water. And not one. 124 questions were asked to Yudhishthira. With such elegance, with such poise, with such style, he answers those questions. You know, there are 3 junctures in Yaksha Prashnam, everywhere where the Yaksha asks, if you want to stop now, you can stop, you can drink the water and go. He says, no, I want to complete your entire list of questions. You ask. And after he has answered those 124 questions, the Yaksha appears and says, I give you the choice or the boon that you can choose one of your brothers who can be given life. He could have chosen Bhima, the big gym man that he was. He could have chosen Arjuna, the very, very sign of victory, triumph. But he said, I will choose Nakula. Yaksha was perplexed. He said, he comes not from your mother, but another lady called Madri. Why do you want to bring Nakula back to life? He said, see, my mother Kunti had 3 sons. I am the eldest of the lot. I am surviving. I want my other mother's eldest son to also survive. So bring back Nakula to life. That very moment, Yaksha grants that all the 4 brothers should come back to life. Now, even in such times of calamity and such times of distress, he stood fixed, sthira, during the Yuddham. This is a battle too. So he is Yudhishthira. So they were right. Yudhishthira is the hero. But Yudhishthira may have his own brownie points, but he could have still consulted Krishna before he began the gambling game. Right? Then had he consulted, nothing would have happened after that. No Bhagavad Gita, no Vishnu Sahasranama. We could have saved so many productive hours of ours. Right? He didn't consult. So Yudhishthira is to be respected, regarded, but whether he's the hero of Mahabharatam is a question. So who could be the hero? Krishna, sir. Undoubtedly Krishna, sir. Who is the heroine? Generally, in most of our stories, the hero and heroine will have a relationship as that of a couple, a dampati. But here is one hero and heroine of an itihasa where friendship is the relationship that they have. Of course, couples should be friends, but they are beyond being a couple, they are friends. Now, I will read out the Sanskritam lines in the Bhashyam. The first point I made, Mahabharata Saratvat, Vishnu Sahasranamam is the essence of Mahabharatam. For that, the poet states, Mahabharatotkarsha samarthana purvakam Mahabharata saratva kathanam Mahabharatam hi parigraha viseshat avisishta plavavachana saushtavadyatmakatvat iti prabalyat Puraneshu tavat vayuh prokta shaivayoho matimanthanam avidya yenadau shrutisagarat jagathitaya janitaha Mahabharata chandrama. The essence of Mahabharatam or the importance of Mahabharatam is spoken in Vayu Puranam and Shiva Puranam, it seems. What do they say? Vedavyasa kept Mati Manthanam Avidya Yenadau Shruti Sagarat. If Vedas were construed as an entire vast ocean, Vyasa kept his mind, intellect as the rod, churning rod to churn out of that ocean and got a beautiful moon out of it. Why moon? Because when the Milky Ocean was churned, moon emerged out of it. After moon came Lakshmi. That is why she is treated as the sister to the moon. Chandram Chandra Sahodarim Lakshmim Kshira Samudra Raja Tanayam. She is the daughter of the king of the ocean, Varunalayam. And then emerged the moon. And that moon was Mahabharatam. Now, why is moon important? Here you'll have to note one point. Often a political debate. All these are political debates only. Where does the word Hindu come from? Correct. We have to keep defending, no sir, in the one Greek person came, he said Indica. Then there was this Uzbek person called Alberuni. In his book he said Hind. Then Parsi, Zoroastrians in their work called it Hapta Hindu, which is Sapta Sindhu. So, any landmass, any geographical area from, you'll have to draw that line, from the top of India, then the top of Pakistan, draw a line, you can cover Sindha Desham, Punjab Desham, then go to the end till Karachi, and from there, because that is where Indus joins the ocean, Arabian Ocean, right? So, all that area covering Ladakh, you have got parts of Tibet because that is where Himalayan region lies. Then you'll have to go till Arunachal Pradesh, some parts of Brahmadesham, which is current day Myanmar, then go till Bangladesh, then come till Andaman below, and then Lanka, all this landmass, it will be like a pentagon if you draw. This is Hinda Desham, which is called Hinda. Hinda, those people who lived there became Hindus. How can the people who live in a landmass be called Hindus? Landmass is Hindu. How can people be called Hindus? See, if a person is selling Alugadde on the road, he may have one name. We don't know his name. He's not holding his name. He's not an air hostess. So we won't know his name. Alugadde Bannili. What he sells will be his name. Correct? People belonging to the landmass of Hind will be called Hindus. No, not possible. Well, I will give you one quotation from Hunzang. He was a traveler from the Chinese land. In the ancient civilization, Chinese civilization existed around the Huanghu River, and today that landmass begins in the east coast of China, Beijing, Shanghai. That region alone was Chinese civilization. So a person had to travel, but he was not given permission to come to Bharatadesham. Then I'm talking 1500, 600 years before. So he went through the Central Asian countries, and through Uzbekistan he entered the Hindadesham. There he remarks in his book, this is the land of the Intu. I-N-T-U. Into. Why into? He says the word into signifies those people who worship the moon too. Hindu is into. This line of his comes even to make all the classes of people agree. I have to bring this quotation also. In the Discovery of India by Panditji, he quotes this line from Hyun Zhang's work. Why? Because though we worship the sun, moon is equally important for us. Why? Because in Jyotishya Shastram, in Jatakam, which is Buddhi Karaka? No. ಜಾತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಷ್ಯ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿಕಾರಕ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಯಾರನ್ನ? ಬುಧ. ಬುಧ is ಬುದ್ಧಿಕಾರಕ. But remember, Buddha is responsible for intelligence. Chandra is responsible for sustaining that intelligence. You know, there is a word called lunatic. You know why? Because on days when Chandra is absent or fully present is when there will be some action scene. On the new moon or the full moon, lunar. So Mati is very, very important for us in Shastram. Since this land, I don't know how many of you speak Tamil or understand Tamil. Well, you know when Rajas used to sit, the umbrella used to be called Venkotru Kudai. So, if you draw a line of the Himalayas from Arunachal Pradesh till Kashmir, it is like an umbrella for the country. So, moon's light falls on it and then falls into India. That is why Hyun Zhang says, I want to visit the land of Intu where knowledge is important. So, this land was called Intu. Panditji quotes. Now, nobody can refuse. So in this Bharata Desham, Matimanthanam Avidya. So Mahabharata emerged like moon. Bhavishyat Purane Bibheti Gahanat Shastra Nastri Divoshadik Bharata Shastra Saroyamataha Kavyatmana Kritaha. So Matsya Puranam also tells Vaishnava Puranam Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhinarayanam Prabhum Kohyanyo Bhuvi Maitreya Mahabharata Krit Bhavet, says Parashara about his son Vedavyasa to his student Maitreya in Vishnu Puranam. So, Mahabharatam has found lot of acceptance. Sir, what is my topic today? What am I talking about? Why, sir? You have to talk about Vishnu Sahasranamam, right? Because if Mahabharatam is respected, naturally Vishnu Sahasranamam is also respected, because Vishnu Sahasranamam is a subset of Mahabharatam. Correct? So this is very important. Now, how is Mahabharatam important? I told you Mahabharatam Saram is Draupadi is the heroine, Krishna is the hero. You know about that Sabha Parva, what all happened. They were invited from Indraprastha, and as soon as they were invited from Indraprastha, they were told that you will have to gamble. Draupadi was not aware of this. She was in her Antavpuram. That is when Shakuni tells, see, Yudhishthira has a light sprain in his hand. He won't be able to play. I will play on his behalf. Yudhishthira should have stopped that moment. He should have said, see, he has to play. But Yudhishthira is the one who shows his hand as well as puts the indicator. Very, very rule abiding. So he said, okay, if your Shakuni is playing, respect to you. He did Abhivadaye to Shakuni and he started the game. That is when he started losing one after the other. He lost himself, he lost his brothers, he lost his wife too. That is when she was dragged to the court. And after she was dragged to the court, that is when she goes asking justice to Bhishma, the same Bhishma whom we celebrated. See, every human being, once the divine chooses to be human, they will have to commit an error. Bhishmacharya's biggest error was that moment. When Draupadi asked for help, he should have stood there and raised his Brahmastram. He said, see, as per Article 54F and 15B, Some say that wife could be the possession of husband. So I may be doubtful. He did this may and all that. That is why Krishna said, if I have to get Vishnu Sahasranamam from you, it cannot be with this body. I have to drain out every drop of blood that you have nurtured and cultivated from Duryodhana's money, and then only I will get Vishnu Sahasranam. He was put to the bed of arrows, drained completely out. He was like the molasses from which are left after the juice is extracted. Then he gave Vishnu Sahasranam. So she asked justice. Bhishmacharya did not answer. Then she asked Drona. Drona and her father were frenemies. They were friend turned enemies, correct? So she said, see, I am like your daughter. I am like Ashwathama. Ashwathama is your son, I am your daughter. You should talk for me. Dronacharya did not talk. Kripacharya never had a voice. He was an extension. No voice. Vidura spoke. He said, this is wrong. But Vidura was immediately reminded of his birth and said, you have to keep quiet, sit down. Duryodhana had one good brother too. His name was Vikarna. He said, this is wrong. Vikarna, you sit down. So everybody, and our great Karna, he is the one who gave the idea. What if she comes with clothes or without clothes? Our great generous Karna, Mahavir Karn. Today he is doing all coffee with everybody. That Karn, he said, this is how, without reading the original, we make heroes out of villains. Uttama villain. So all of them said, then Draupadi was brought to the court. That is when she said, Dhyaya sada savitru mandala madhyavarti narayana sarasijasana sannivishtaha Keyuravan makara kundalavan kiriti hari hiranmaya vapuhu dhrita shanka chakraha Shri Dwaraka nilaya achyuta govinda pundari kaksha rakshamam sharanagatam. Dwaraka nilayachyuta govinda. Gavam indraha govindaha. The one who protects the bovine is called Govinda. That is when Krishna feels. Draupadi tells Krishna, you have been protecting the cattle race. Why don't you assume that I am also a part of that cattle and come and protect me? Govinda Pundarikaksha. And that is how the Lord protected. He was not physically present. His namam was present. His name was present, and that protected her. Cut. We'll cut here. Go towards the end of Krishna Avataram when Krishna calls his friend Uddhava. He tells Uddhava, come here. Uddhava looked very much like Krishna because he stayed as a friend with Krishna for so many long years that he started looking like Krishna. I don't know how much science is in accordance to these theories, but I've heard great Upanyasakas say when the husband and the wife live together for many, many years, maybe 30, 40 years, they start looking alike as well. Their likes and dislikes will also start matching. In fact, in Srimad Ramayanam, Valmiki Ramayanam and Ayodhya Kandam, Rama tells Sita, I will go to the forest and come. I have been asked to go to the forest for 14 years. Let's stay in touch. The world is small. Moi. And he left. Sita said, where are you going? I am blessed with mothers-in-law here. You are leaving me here and going? He said, this is Swargam. Who said? You don't define Swargam, Rama. Wherever I feel like that is Swargam for me. And she comes. But in that gap, she tells one thing. You can go and observe. You can always do a fact check. You can always do that. In Ayodhya Kandam, she tells Rama, I have heard my mother say, she was married at the age of 6. In that 6 years, she has heard so much. She says, I have heard my mother say, whoever is the husband in this janma will be the husband in 7 other janmas. There is a shlokam in Ramayana. You're all such disciplined people. I told this in Chennai, half of them walked out. Maybe you're all that happy. So Sita said, you will be my husband in the next janma as well. Rama said, you come with me. Now let's come back here. So Uddhava started looking like Krishna. Even friends can start looking like each other. Krishna calls Uddhava and tells him, Uddhava, my avataram is going to come to a close in a few days from now. Uddhava says, of the many avataras that you have taken, Paramatma, I feel this avataram has accomplished its purpose, achieved its purpose. Because in Hamsa avataram, he gave Upadesham, but there is no narration there. In Rama avataram, he lived the life of Dharma, but he just did not give any advice. There is only one shlokam, Sakrideva prapannaya tavasmi iti cha yachate abhayam sarva bhutebhyaha dadamyetad vratam mama, which is the only Rama Gita shlokam in Yuddha Kanda. Otherwise, no advice. In Krishna avataram, he lived a life and he also explained the quintessence of Upanishads. So he said, this avataram is complete, Krishna. That is when Krishna tells, no. Rinam pravriddhamiva me hridayan napamarpati. He says, Rinam, I have a huge burden, a loan that I am carrying on myself. Uddhava asked, what loan? When Draupadi called out with sheer devotion, Govinda, I feel I have not done enough for that devotion that she had for me. That Rinam, with such devotion, she had 5 husbands there. She had such learned and valorous people around her. But yet in that moment, she said, Dwaraka Nilayachyuta Govinda, how much of confidence she had on me that I will come and protect her. For that sheer devotion, which is uninterrupted and unadulterated in many means, Uddhava, I feel I have not done much, anything at all. I am carrying this burden on me. So, the one who feels that he's carrying the burden of his devotees who have so much of devotion on him is called Analaha. You have heard of this shlokam? Vasuprado Vasudevo Vasur Vasumana Havihi Sadgatihi Satkritihi Satta Sadbhuti Satparayanaha Shuraseno Yadusreshtaha Sannivasa Suyamunaha Bhuta Vaso Vasudeva Sarvasu Nilayo Nalaha Anala Nilayaha Analaha. So that Anala comes. Anala means the one who's carrying the burden of his devotees. Example given by the commentator is what Krishna carried of his friend Draupadi. So the first feature of of Vishnu Sahasranamam, it is the essence of Mahabharatam. Essence of Mahabharatam is Krishna helping his friends and devotees. The essence of Krishna helping his friends and devotees is Analaha. First feature. Second feature. Rishibhiv Pariganataha. The second feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam, importance is, the names have been sung by the rishis. 2-3 questions that I keep answering. One day, I have to have Chandra in me. Buddha is there. For the stability, I need Chandra. Because same question they will ask. Sir, in Dashavataram, Balarama is there in one Buddha is there. Arey Baba, he has taken so many avatarams. Padmanabhadi Asankhya avatarams. Even now he would have taken many avatarams. There is no compulsion that he has to incarnate in one place only once. He could have incarnated even in Scotland now. He will be in Arabia now. He will be in Australia now. So then how do we know? That is where the problem comes. In those days, we had great rishis called Vyasa and Valmiki who could get into the person and check if this is an avataram or not. See, how do we know? Did Rama say, right, jumping from Vaikuntham, I am Narayana, Narayana, did he say? Valmiki found out in a very subtle fashion. See, what does Rama say? Atmanam Manusham Manye Ramam Dasharathatmajam. I am the illustrious son of my father called Dasharatha. I am D. Ram. I am D. Ram. Only if it is N. Ram, it is a problem. So I am D-Ram. I am D-Ram. Atmanam Manusham Manye. Treat me as a normal individual. For my kindergarten, I have to go and stand outside and get the application form. If my wife is lost, I won't know the direction. I'll be directionless. I will start crying. He acted like a normal individual. But how do we know he is Parabrahmam or Paramatma? Valmiki beautifully puts it. While he was worrying about his abducted wife, and as he was walking the path of the rugged forests in Dandakaranyam and came back into Maharashtra, he saw a dying bird called Jatayu, a scavenger. Jatayu mentioned that he tried his level best to fight against the tyranny of Ravana. Then he says, Rama, I tried my level best, I couldn't do much, please forgive me. You know what Rama does? Gachalokan anuttaman. Jatayu, I grant you moksham. Valmiki said, out. Normal human beings can't give moksham. See, I knew about you. Slop of the ting. Right? We have done this. So we had Valmiki to tell us, this is Paramatma's avataram. Vyasa could tell us, see what happened within the jail of Krishna while he was born. Devaki did not compose Bhagavatam. Vasudeva had so much of tension, he couldn't have composed. Right? It was pitch dark. It was raining cats and dogs outside. No light inside. Even the camera couldn't have captured. How do we know Krishna was born with 4 hands? Because Shuka Brahman was able to look into the jail with his Jnana Drishti. Tamadbhutam balakam ambujekshanam chaturbhujam, he says, through his eyes. So you had Shuka Brahman to tell a Krishna avataram. You had Valmiki to speak about Rama avataram. We have no munis today. We have one yogi, but I don't know whether he'll be able to do this. So, today also the Lord is incarnating. When he says his Avatara Rahasyam in the 4th Adhyayam of Gita, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, it doesn't mean for Kali Yugam once. Yuge Yuge means time to time I will keep coming. He is there now. So first of all, learn how to unlearn the thing that we have learnt wrongly, that there are only 10 avatarams. There are lakhs of avatarams. But each acharya picks and chooses those avatarams that he likes. Ichamina vihara kachapa mahapotrin yadricha harehe rakshavaamana rosharama karunaka kutsta helahalin kridavallabha kalkavahana dasha, says Vedanta Deshika. He includes Balarama, does not include Buddha. But Parashara Bhatta, who is predecessor to Vedanta Deshika in Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashyam, says Buddha had 12-13 names of Vishnu Sahasranamam. Ratnanabaha, Sulochanaha, Arkaha, Vasajanaha, Shringi, Jayantaha. These are all names of Buddha. Why? Ratnanabaha, as per Ashwaghosha's Buddha Charitram and many of our Purvacharyas, the Buddha whom we trace to 500 and 600 BC, called Gautama or Siddhartha, was not the Buddha that you find in Thai massage. He had a huge belly. Ratnanabhaha, big belly. Lotus-like eyes. Sulochanaha. Tonsured head. A very mischievous smile. That, you find this laughing Buddha, right? That is the description what the ancient prosopographers give us. Then later he became trim. Snails came, and then he is found near the wax candle today. That is our Buddha. Original Buddha is like this. So Buddha becomes an avatara. Even Jayadeva says in Ashtapadi, the 12th century Kavyam, in Ashtapadi, Gita Govindam, Pralaya Payodhijale, he includes Buddha there. Annamacharya, the student of Adivan Shatakopa Yatindra Mahadeshika, says, Daruna Buddha Kaliki Dashavidha Avatara. Daruna Buddha Kaliki. Buddha is there. In many cases, Krishna is the one who incarnates as the 10. So get off of that mind that there are only 10. Why Buddha? Why not Balrama? Everybody is correct. Okay. Now, why did I mention about 10? So that I can extrapolate it to 1000. Many ask, you are talking about Vishnu Sahasranama, but your name is not there in it. Dushyantaya Namaha is not there. What do I do now? Should I go and change my name? See, every proper noun in this world denotes Paramatma. Be very careful in knowing that. Every proper noun in this world has to denote Paramatma, says Vishnu Puranam. Now comes a question. Sir, in that case, are you telling the word Hussein is Paramatma? Yes. Theoretically, yes. Does the word John denote Paramatma? Yes. Because if I say, let's assume I say, no, John doesn't denote Paramatma, then he is omniscient and omnipresent will be untrue. Sarvagnya and Sarvavyapi, when I say he pervades everywhere, does he have geographical? No, sir. To actually from Rajasthan to Arunachal Pradesh only he pervades. Rest of the other things he has outsourced it to other gods. There is no such concept. Every proper noun has to denote. Now there will be another counter question. Then can I call my grandson Hussein? Correct? I said Hussein has to denote. If it is agreed by your Purvacharyas, you can keep. If you have the tradition of keeping it, keep. If there is no tradition, don't keep. Right? If you ask people, see, whenever they want, they'll bring the word tradition. Do you write Vishnu Sahasranamam? No, in our house, that tradition is not there. Huh? That time you intelligently use Samaya Nikita Gumata Ladene Hare Ramachandra Raghukulesha Mrudu Subhasha. But Tyagaraja says, I have been doing all this kutarkam from my childhood. That is why I have lost time in thinking about Rama. Siruta praya mulanade bhajana mritarasa vihina kutarkudayena duduku. Siruta praya mula. From my childhood, I have just been debating and arguing instead of immersing myself in something good. Siruta praya mulanade bhajana mritarasa vihina kutarkudayena duduku gala nanye dora. So, 1,000 names doesn't mean he has only 1,000. Every name in this world is important to the Lord. But why are these 1,000 important? Rishibhiv Parigitani, because these names have been chosen by the rishis. You remember this line, Rishibhiv Parigitani Tani Vakshyami Bhutaye, these set of 1,000. So, Dushyanth is not there in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Correct? It is not there. You search, you put a control F and do. Generally, when I used to tell my name before, now people are aware. Dushyanth, Duryodhan, somewhere close. I wish I had that power. Huh? So, all these names have been chosen by the rishis. The second important feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam, Rishibhiv Pariganataha. Rishis have chosen the name. Which name will you give as an example for this, sir? There are wonderful names. Let us go to Ramayana. Rama should not feel bad. We are talking only about Krishna. Vishwamitra comes. Vishwamitra comes and seeks the intervention of Dasharatha. He tells, I have been performing Ahoratra Yagyam. But there are some sons of Tataka who have been detrimental to our very process of realizing Parabrahma. I have the power to fight them, but how will I conduct the Yagyam and do both? I have to have an AK-47 next to me and keep Indraya, Swaha, Yamuna. What will I do? So I need your help. Immediately Dasharatha thought, he is being called. He said, okay, get my bow and the quiver of arrows. Why are you coming? Then whom do you want, sir? I want that darkest son of yours. See, if this line were to be told in America, Vishwamitra will be in the jail. They'll say Black Lives Matter. Our Anushka's pati will put his foot down. Black Lives Matter. In our life, in Sanatana Dharma, only black lives have mattered. Draupadi, Krishna, Rama, Kali, Parvati, they are all dark people. Fair people, they have not got a fair chance at all. So we were never racist in nature. Somehow it has come to us. Now there are many advertisements. If you see, that there will be one girl, she'll be upset. Two men will come see her, they won't marry her. Then suddenly there'll be one light from the top. Some angel will come and give one paste. She will apply, she'll become fair. Nalina Kantimati. Kantimati, full of radiance. Then immediately the boy. This is where we have become racist now. Where we were, where we are today. Color. See, when the moment they have me in their list, in any venue, they will put lights on me. Black Lives Matter. Because for me, if you put light only, you can see me. But that's okay. So, in Srimad Ramayanam, Vishwamitra tells, give the eldest of your son, the darkest of your sons. Dasharatha, BP becomes 60 by, I don't know, he falls down. Then they sprinkle some bovonto on him and wake him up, and they ask him, why are you? You have asked for my life. You have not asked for me. Rama is my Atma. But then Vasishtha intervenes and says, see, Dasharatha, I may be at odds with Vishwamitra, but one thing I agree upon, there is no one as capable and adept as your son Rama. Send him. I give my permission. See, whenever we used to finish one semester, we had to get no due certificate. We had to go to the library. Then that library, we would have never read one book. But that librarian has to say, not one book borrowed. Immediately he will sign and give. So similarly, Vasishtha said, no objection from my side, send Rama. Rama goes with Lakshmana to the forest. As they go, see, they need to talk. Vishwamitra is a new person. Vishwamitra wants to break the ice and he starts narrating stories. That is when he starts with Kumara Sambhavam. See, today we know Kalidasa's Kavyam as Kumara Sambhavam, but the original word Kumara Sambhavam comes in Valmiki's Ramayanam in Balakandam. He talks about how Shara Vana. Shara is weeds. Vana is the forest. So this little boy was born in that Vana. So he's called Shara Vana. In Tamil language it becomes Saravana. Na becomes Na, Sa becomes Sha becomes Sa. So Kartikeya is spoken in Valmiki's Ramayanam. So he narrates that. Then he talks about Gangotpatti, how Ganga came, how Bhagiratha did his penance, how the Nagaris of Vishala was formed, how Shiva burnt Kama into ashes, Kamashrama. All this comes. 9 stories were told, narrated by Vishwamitra to Rama and Lakshmana. Nava in Sanskritam means 9. Nava also means new. So Vedanta Deshika uses this as a beautiful sledai. He says, Nava Vividha Katha, 9 stories were told in a new contemporary fashion by Vishwamitra to Rama. That night Rama sleeps, next morning he has to wake up. Correct. I've told this in many of my lectures. Again, I'm telling, some of you may have heard, some of you may not have heard, some of you, I'm confident, would have heard and forgotten. That I'm confident about. We are generally told in that 14 years of Vanavasam, Lakshmana did not sleep for even one night. He would have died in the 6th day itself. Medically, it is impossible. Correct? This is where our acharyas come to our rescue. How logical they were. The commentator of Ramayanam 1000 years back states, there is one concept going on. He tells in his Samskrita Vyakhyanam, there is a concept or there is a talk going on that Lakshmana did not sleep for 14 years. I will prove you wrong, he says. And then quotes a line from Ayodhya Kandam where Rama goes and wakes up Lakshmana and says, Lakshmana, I have already woken up, you wake up. So Lakshmana slept. Sir, then I have heard that Lakshmana did not sleep. He did not sleep well. See, many of us sleep. Do we sleep well? He was worried. How can my brother languish in this rugged path of the forest? I am not getting proper sleep. So he did not sleep well. Add that well after sleep. If you remove that word, he did not sleep. Wrong. So Rama and Lakshmana were sleeping. Vishwamitra got up at 3:45 itself. Early to bed, early to rise. He got up at 3:45. He wanted a cup of coffee. Many people, they love coffee after they get up and before they sleep. Like it is like that pranavam before Vedam and after Vedam. Madhva Swami, Pejavar Swami used to humbly and in a very humorous way state, every morning you take coffee. It is Aradhanam, he used to say. Shuklam Baradharam, white color milk. Shuklam Baradharam, Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam. The person who gives coffee has two hands, the one who receives it has two hands, four hands. Chaturbhujam. After you have it, Prasannavadanam, happy face. Dhyayet Sarva Vighna Upashantaye, that day will be excellent. Used to state Pejavar Swami. So Vishwamitra got up at 3:45. Now he looks at Rama. Kausalya. Who is sleeping there? You should have started with Rama, right? Kausalya, she is 75 miles away. Kausalya, Praja, son of Kausalya. Kausalya, Praja. No, then he thought, no, he's the good son of. See, everybody has children, but they will think twice before putting the adjective good. Do you have children? Yes, sir. Are they good? Wait. When children make the parents think. So he was a good son to Kaushalya. How did he know he was good? Because the way you sleep itself tells you, it seems, how good you are. Supraja. The way he sleeps. Today we all go to Srirangapatnam. We go to Srirangam, spending so many hours of our road, buying 400 rupees ticket. You go and stand in the queue. Journalist comes. Whom are you going to see? Ranganatha. What is he doing? Sleeping. See, to see a person sleep, we go that far. Why? Because when he sleeps, he is so beautiful. Sukhasupta Parantapa Shriman. He looks so handsome and civilized while he is even sleeping. So Rama was sleeping. Kausalya Supraja. 3:45 he started. Now it is 4:45. So 1 hour, just 2 words, he is a Carnatic musician. Iha Varagati Nine Indira Ramana. 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 Iha Varagati. Has he forgotten the next line? This is called Neraval in Carnatic music, where you delineate one particular line. Kausalya Praja, Kausalya Supraja, Praja. 4:45. 1 hour. Why? Sir, he should have told the next word. What is the next word? Rama. Why he refused to say? Because this name was given to this boy by Vasishtha. Huh? Right. How can I call it Amma Canteen? I have to change it. Appa Canteen. How can I call that name they gave? But 5 o'clock, Vishwamitra said, I have worked all my life to stand at par with Vasishtha. I have achieved it. But if there is one place where I have to face defeat, it is here. I will call him Rama, the same name given to him by Vasishtha, because there couldn't have been a better word. Kausalya Supraja Rama. That particular Rama, who's mentioned here, is found in Vishnu Sahasranamam. So Ramaha, Yascharamam na pashyetu yancharamo na pashyati. There used to be a saying in Ayodhya, the one who has not seen Rama or the one who has not been seen by Rama should not exist in this world. Either Rama should have seen you or you should have seen Rama. There used to be a great pravachanakarta called Jayarama Sharma. So Jayarama Sharma had immense devotion for the deity of Guruvayur, called Guruvayurappan or Krishna. Certain kshetrams have that pull. Every kshetram is important, but certain kshetrams have excess pull for a variety of reasons. I don't know if you have heard of this kshetram called Tripunithura. Ketuttundo? Malayalam undo? Malayaliyano ivide? Any Malayalam speaking person here? Yeah. So there is a kshetram called Tripunithura near Ernakulam. The beauty of the Lord will just stay in your eyes. He is called Purnatrayeshan. മിന്നും പലതര രത്നങ്ങൾ ചേർത്തുള്ള പൊന്നും കിരീടമും പാലദേശേ നന്നായി അലങ്കരിച്ചിടും തിലകവും പൂർണ്ണത്രയീശ്വര കാണാങ്ങണം മല്ലികാബാണന്റെ കൈ തലമേവിന വില്ലിലക കമ്പിലല്ലേകും ചില്ലിനകകളും നാസിക ഭംഗിയും പൂർണ്ണത്രയീശ്വര കാണാങ്ങണം. So beautiful. So Jayarama Sharma, the moment he developed that beautiful love for Krishna of Guruvayur, he went along with his friend to Guruvayur for the first time. He saw the Lord there. Extremely impressed with the Lord, he wanted to be. But the moment he came out, he started crying. His friend asked, Jayarama Sharma, why are you crying after seeing the Lord? He said, see, the crowd pushed me. I couldn't see the Lord. I went all the way to Guruvayur to see the Lord, but the crowd pushed me so much that I couldn't see the Lord. That moment, the person who had come said, see, you have told us in your Upanyasam, the Lord has to see us. You may have not seen him. He has seen you. How will you prove it? Asked Jayarama Sharma. You remember yesterday you said, Sandranandavabodhatmakamanupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamashatasahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam drishtamatre punarha urupurusharthatmakam drishtamatre. He has seen you. So Ramayanam says Rama has to see or we have to see Rama. If the person is saying, I am not sure whether Rama has seen, I have not seen Rama, don't live in this world. Ninditassu vate loke. In those days in the Tamil literature, there used to be a saying, if you do not know Tirupavai, you should not live in Tamil Nadu. Ayyaindum aindum ariyada manidarai vayyam sumappadum vambu. All our leaders have to come out to the state. How many of them know Tirupavai? They are ready to protest for protecting Tamil, but how will they protect Tamil? So Ramanamam, Ramadas tells, Sri Ramani Namame mi ruchira, O Ramani Namam yanta ruchira. That Namam, Ramanamam, comes in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Why that name has been chosen by which Rishi? Vasishtha. What is the second feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam? Rishibhiv Pariganataha. Rishis have chosen this name. I keep getting these messages, Instagrams thing. I am going to deliver a kit. Please give some names. How can I suggest names? See, they will have their own wish to call something. I say, you choose. Sir, you have to tell. So I say, you look into Vishnu Sahasranamam. Whichever nama you like, you ask me. Every nama is beautiful. But they'll keep writing. Sir, please choose, please choose, please choose. I said, Sarva Praharana Yudha. Keep this name, Sarva Praharana Yudha. Every namam is important. Okay, what is the third feature? First feature, Mahabharata Saratvat. Second, Rishibhiv Pariganataha. Third feature, Vedacharya Samaharat. I will read out the Vyakhyanam for this. Krishnadvaipayanaha Paramaptatamaha ಭಗವನ್ನಾರಾಯಣ ಅವತಾರ ವಿಶೇಷೇಣ ನಿರತಿಶಯಾನ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯಾದಿ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣಕತೆಯ ನಿರಸ್ತ ಸಮಸ್ತ ವಿಪ್ರಲಂಬ ದೋಷಾದಿ. Look at the words that Bhattar uses here. Why Vedavyasa, who has compiled? See, Bhishmacharya might have said, remember Mahabharatam and understand. The 1,000 names of Narayana, Vishnu is in Vishnu Sahasranamam, which is in Mahabharatam. But while Bhishmacharya was answering and Yudhishthira was asking, Vedavyasa was not there. You're able to understand? How did Vedavyasa know? Because Vedavyasa could see from a distance. He was somewhere near Uttarakhand, Badrinath, Mana, that was the village. Hastam avalakam gata, like a gooseberry that can be clearly visible to the eyes when it is found in the palm, so were things visible, so he compiled. So Bhishmacharya answered, Yudhishthira questioned, but was compiled by Vedavyasa. So Vedavyasa is also a stakeholder to Vishnu Sahasranamam. That is why we offer our obeisances to him. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave. Who is Vyasa? The great grandson of Vasishtha. Vasishtha Naptaram. Napta means great grandson. Shaktev Pautram, son, grandson of Shakti. Parasharatmajam, son of Parashara. Shuka Tatam, father of Shuka. Son Shuka gave us Bhagavatam. Father gave us Vishnu Sahasranamam, Mahabharatam. His father Parashara gave us Vishnu Puranam. Great grandfather Vasishtha was the Acharya for Rama in Ramayanam. One family, Ramayanam, Mahabharatam, Vishnu Puranam, Bhagavatam. Over. What a family it was. Lineage. See, when there used to be a concept called arranged marriages, they used to look into that family lineage, right? They used to make sujji bajji in the house. Then the boy's side will come. The girl has to take and walk. All the sujji bajji, they'll check if she's walking well. So these were all background checks. Now it is front. So you ask her to walk. Oh, her legs are good. What about for the boy, sir? Immediately some Mahanubhava will cut this 10 seconds from this video and circulate it. Patriarchal. Dushyanth. Boycott. For the boy, how will you do the background check? That is when they used to do a Janavasam. The previous day to the marriage, they will make that boy sit in an ambassador car. Used to put lot of roses with sellotape. Then some third party's child, they will be sitting between the boy and the girl there. Nagaswaram will be walking in the front. Some mommies will be carrying the badam plate. Slowly the car will go, like how it is coming in our outer ring road. Why? Because to do the background check for the boy. Because some lady may say, oh, he was married to me. You're getting the point why they used to take the vehicle in a very slow fashion, because people will spot whether this boy is our son-in-law or their house's son-in-law. So there was a check done for the boy and the girl. So then during the ceremony where the boy's side come and see the girl, they will introduce the boy. See that person, he's the grandfather of this boy. He published Ramayana way back in 1888. Motilal Banaras Publishers. Who is he? The father of the boy. He published Vishnu Puranam. Who is this the boy? What has he done? Nothing. He has only the lineage with him. Vyasam Vasishtha Naptaram Shaktev Pautram Akalmasham Parasharatmajam Bande Shukatatam Taponidhim. Who is this Vyasa? Achatur Vadanor Brahma. He is Brahma minus 3 faces. Achatur Vadanor Brahma. Who is he? Vishnu. Dvibahur aparo harihi. He is Hari minus 2 hands. Aphala lochana Shambhu. He is Shambhu, Shiva, minus 1 eye. Bhagavan Badarayanaha. So he is Brahma minus 3 heads. Vishnu minus 2 hands. Shiva minus 1 eye. His name is Vedavyasa. Viparyayaha. The qualification why Vyasa is to be celebrated and his compilation needs to be celebrated is Viparyayaha. He was away and bereft of defects such as forgetfulness. It's a defect. In Sanatana Dharma, you can never manage to be forgetful. ಸರ್ ಒಂದು 10 ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದು ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಾ ಅಂತ ಶುರುವಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಬಾ ಅಂತ ಮುಗಿಯತ್ತೆ, ಮಾ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗತ್ತೆ, ಬಾ ಸಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೇ, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ಸರ್, ಹೌ ಟು ಡೂ ದಟ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್, ಸರ್? ವೆಲ್, ವಿ ಅಗ್ರಿ ದಟ್ ಫರ್ಗೆಟ್ಫುಲ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್. ಹೌ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್? ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವಾಕ್ಯಂ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲೈನ್, ಕಲಂಜನ್ನಂನ ಭಕ್ಷಯೇತ್. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಈಟ್ is what you are. There are other factors. Of course, there is pollution today. We can't do much about it. How long can I keep saving soil and water? Right? Things are beyond my control. But certain things which is under my control. Kalanjannamna bhakshayet. See, Sanatana Dharma doesn't state that everyone has to be a vegetarian. Remember this line very carefully. Rama had non-veg food in Srimad Ramayana. Very clear. He was a Kshatriya, he could have. Brahmanas at one point in time had non-veg food. Very well found in our Shastras. But over a period of time, from the times of Agastya, who came to the Dakshina Bharatam, he said, for the profession that you are in, you don't need that food. You should have minimum food and survive. Then he gave like a dietitian today, every 2 hours have this quinoa, brown rice, black rice, purple rice. Like that he said, avoid these particular vegetables. Why? Because for your profession, memory is very important. If you are a Brahmana, doesn't mean Kshatriya memory is not important. See, Sanatana Dharma doesn't state that everybody has to be a vegetarian. It says vegetarianism is preferred. Correct? When we were telling all these years that try being a vegetarian, people used to hurl abuses. Now, are you vegan? Arey Baba, all these years we were close to we were semi-vegan. Correct? So, I think we need to package our sentences really well. Atin bedvo? No. Please avoid yourself and abstain yourself from those that have, if you tell like this, people, Atin bedvo? No, he's illiterate. You have to package it very beautifully. You'll have to come with that poise and that style to make it sound really intellectual. It will just be something very basic. So here, Vedavyasa was beyond these defects of forgetfulness. Why is forgetfulness wrong? Because nobody, when on stage, will like to call themselves forgetful. If they forget something, quickly they will tell something which is illogical. Right? You will always want to debate and tell that what I've told is right, because you're forgetful. If you are true, you will quote. If you are true, you will quote that reference. If, there is a concept in the south of India, especially in the state of Tamil Nadu, that ancient Tamil literature is not Vedic. Why? Because they can't quote. I will quote. In Thiruviruttam, Thiruvasiriyam, Periya Thiruvandadi and Thiruvaimozhi, the 4 beautiful esoteric works of Nammalvar, he says, Irukkar Mozhiyil, he talks about Rigvedam. He talks about Chandoga, Samavedam. Chandogya Upanishad says, Kapyasam Pundarikam Makshini, for Parabrahmam the eyes will be like the petals of a newly blossomed lotus with the serene waters of a pond. Anaithulagum Tolum Aravindalochanan, says Alvar. So in what way it is not Vedic? It is completely Vedic. Ancient Tamil literature, if you go by intellect and without bulldozing and bombarding on the other person, if you have to prove by references, it is Vedic. But if you want to keep going on to your same theory which is absolutely baseless, then you can call it Avedic. Vedavyasa was beyond all of this. So, Vedacharya Samaharat, Vedavyasa is so great. How do we know he's so great? I've given this example in many places. People who have heard my YouTube videos think it is a revision. People who have not heard it, listen to it for the first time. Or even if people who have heard it, act as if you're listening for the first time. Okay? See, Vyasa was so great. How do we know that? Vyasa's father Parashara celebrates him. Sir, father celebrating the son is not new. In Tamil Nadu, it is called Chidambara Rahasyam. Right? The father supports and defends his son also. You are talking about father hailing his son as something great. No, because if you are following scriptures in those days, parents should never praise children. That was a Shastra Vakya. You don't have to hurl abuses, but you should not praise. But today, we wake up and sleep with praise. My dear child, when there were floods in Bangalore, you were the one who lifted the mountain and protected the entire Bangalore. Govardhana Giridhara. The child starts feeling it. Today, everything is praise. I'm sure the elderly people here who are twice my age in your experience will know, none of your parents would have praised you. Right? Why? Doesn't mean people in those days were foolish or people who were averse to their children's achievements. Shastram tells don't praise your children. You have to praise your guru in front of him. Pratyakshe guravastutyat. But don't praise your children. Sir, you're telling this on one side. But on the other side, you're telling Vyasacharya was praised by his father Parashara. Isn't this an oxymoron? Shastram tells parents should not praise. But Parashara praised his son Vyasa. Isn't it contrary? No. There is an exception to every general rule. For this, I have to go to another example from Ramayana. See, this is Upanyasam. Upanyasam is connected everywhere. I'll connect and come back to that point. Some people ask, Sir, okay, sir, allinda, ade Pravachana. See, if it is classroom lecture, then I have to say, the next word is Dravina Pradaha. This is then it becomes classroom lecture. Then you can go to any of the universities and sit. Pravachanam is intertwining stories. Okay, in Srimad Ramayanam, we come across this beautiful incident where the father, Janaka Maharaja, Siradhwaja, his title was Janaka. Remember, all kings of Nepal were called Janaka. That was a title. The name of Sita's father was Siradhwaja. He did not have children for a very long time. Then he did the Putrakameshti Yajnam because he heard that Dasharatha did that. Neighboring kingdom, even I will try. He tilled the land. He found a basket while he was tilling. In that was lying a child who was orphaned. This child was picked up. Since she emerged by the tip of the plow that touched the basket, she was called Tasi. When reversed, became Sita. So Sita was brought up. How was Janaka, Siradhwaja, especially this king, was very, very selfless. Though he was asked to administer, he was not avaricious in getting all the possessions to himself. So much so that one day his Acharya wanted to tell the world what kind of a person this land has been bequeathed with, which is Janaka. He created an illusionary fire in Mithila. Everything started burning. People started running here and there. That time the Acharya asks Janaka, Janaka, please go and protect your mahal, your palace, your possessions, your ratham. Janaka says, Sir, burning is Mithila. Burning are the possessions in Mithila. But none of those possessions are mine. If it is my country, my palace, I will go and protect. I have not created it. Pradiptayam mithilayam name kinchit pradahyate. Burning is Mithila. None of it is mine. He did not have this mamakaram. He had won over mamakaram. Nandu, mama. Nana deshagalali, nana bandhugalali, nana yonigalali, nalidu putti, nanu nannadu emba naragadolage biddu, ನೀನೇ ಗತಿಯೆಂದು ನಂಬಿದ ದಾಸನ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನುದಯ ಬಾರದೆ. ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು. Mamakaram. He did not. Janaka did not have Mamakaram. But when he gives his daughter in marriage to Rama, he says, Yam Sita Mama Sutha, my daughter. Immediately one journalist asked, Sir, Yushtu Disa, you are telling it is not mine. Today you are telling Sita is mine. How did you get that Mamakaram today? Yes, sir. I did not have Mamakaram, but my daughter is so well disciplined and so beautiful and so very respectful. She has made the word Mama come out of my mouth too. Nane helbekandre. She must be that great. Similarly, a person called Parashara who conforms to Shastram, where Shastram tells, do not praise your son. If he says, my son Vedavyasa is the greatest, then what should I speak? Vedavyasa is the greatest. Vedacharya Samaharat. So what is the namam for Vedavyasa? 579th namam. Vachaspatihi. Eloquence. See, generally people, when they speak in the public, they'll say something, then there'll be a huge controversy. Then they will give a clarification. See, what I meant was, whether he meant or not, he has to come up with that line. Why? That is why some of them will say, you should think and speak. Some people take it very seriously. They will think. They'll keep thinking. Slowly one line will come after 10 minutes. My duration is 2.5 hours. In this, if I Ramayanadalli, Valmiki, hing matadidre, when will I finish? So you have to think and speak. The gap between thinking and speaking should be 0.01 of a second. It should be that quick. Vachaspatihi. If you want good speech, tell this namam. Vachaspataye namaha. Every day you tell. You'll become a good speaker. Next Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan lecture will be yours. First feature, Mahabharata Saratvat. Second, Rishibhiv Pariganataha. Third, Vedacharya Samaharat. Fourth, Bhishmot Krishta Matatvataha. Bhishma has given. See, understand. Vyasa has compiled. Who has uttered Vishnu Sahasranamam? Bhishma. What is the greatness of Bhishma? See, I will tell you the greatness of Bhishma from one incident of Sri Mahabharata. Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows. The 10th or 11th day he fell. Then the Yuddham happened for another 7-8 days. 18th day Yuddham got over. Yudhishthira became the king. They were all settled. He learned Raja Dharma, Moksha Dharma. Then they all went back. This man was left to fend for himself on the bed of arrows. Correct? Why didn't he die? Because there was a boon mentioned by Vyasa, Ichha Mrityu. Only when he wishes, he will die. That is why he has seen so many generations. He has seen his brothers Chitrangada, Vichitravirya die. He has seen the children of him, of his brothers, Pandu die. Pandu's children, Pandavas he has seen. In Pandava's children, he has seen Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's son, Parikshit, he has seen Abhimanyu also die. So, 6 generations. He is the Dumbledore of Mahabharata. Overlived person. Still, he is not dead. He is lying on the bed of arrows because he was waiting for a kalam called Uttarayana Punya Kalam, when the sun's rays trace the northern hemisphere, roughly in the first half of the year, mid of the first half, from Sankramanam, we call it Shankaranti, right? That is when the Uttarayana Punya Kalam begins. I will tell you why that Uttarayanam is important tomorrow. Remember this, tomorrow you have to remind. Who is going to come tomorrow? It's a technical question. You have to remind me. Uttarayanam I have to explain, because Uttarayanam's importance is mentioned in Vishnu Sahasranamam in one of the namas. Well, Bhishmacharya was lying on the bed of arrows. Everybody had left. Krishna had gone back to Dwaraka, Khemcho, Majama. Then he was playing dice with his wife Rukmini. He has gone to 301. 301 is Rukmini's chamber. 302 is Satyabhama. It is like one big hotel. You know, every room to one. Jambavati Krishnan is in one room. Satya Mitravinda is in one room. Each room, 301, he was in Rukmini's Antahpuram. They were playing dice. Suddenly, Krishna stopped playing and tears started rolling down his cheeks. Rukmini, is everything okay with you? Krishna asked why. Generally, you make others cry. Now you are crying. What has happened to you? That time Krishna tells, Sharatalpa gato bhishmaha, shamyanniva hutashanaha. Rukmini, in a few seconds from now, Bhishma's Jivatma is going to leave his body. For after having lived like easily 150, 170 years, Sharatalpa gato Bhishmaha, that Jivatma is going to depart. If that Jivatma departs, Rukmini, listen, hear it from me. Jnaninaha alpi bhavishyanti. There will be a scarcity of intellectual people. If Bhishma is gone, then you will have to hunt for one intelligent person. Krishna tells this. That is why Bhishma, when he recited Vishnu Sahasranamam, Krishna was amazed. See, he is picking up names from different places and putting them together so beautifully. When Yudhishthira asks those 6 questions and Bhishma answers, Krishna is far away. Then as he keeps listening, he comes close. By the time he comes close, it is towards the last 20% of Sahasranamam. That is when Yudhishthira asks, Sir, these names are so beautiful, Bhishma. But where is that Lord whom you are talking about? You are saying Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. You are calling him Bhutatma. You are calling Bhishak. All these names are beautiful, but where is that Lord? See next to you, said Bhishma. Krishna was saying, Krishna, Devaki Nandana Srashta, Kshitishaha Papanashanaha, the one who has been loitering around as your cousin, is the one whom I have been mentioning all this long. So Krishna wanted to listen. So when Bhishma's Atma was leaving, he started shedding tears. Rukmini, now the world will be devoid of intellectual people. That is true. Right. Jnaninaha alpi bhavishyanti bhishmotkrishtah. Now how do we understand Bhishma's greatness? Listen to this episode. It is a very important episode from Mahabharatam. Mahabharatam, I feel very challenged because how many ever times I give upanyasams on Mahabharatam, 1600 character names I have to remember. It's a tough task. It is 4.5 times the number of characters of Harry Potter 7 volumes. Huh? Here, you all know, when the Yuddham began, Bhishma said, I will fight for the Dhartarashtras. But he said, I will not kill the Pandavas. I will decimate their army. Because I have a relationship with them. Killing you all take up. Duryodhana, you are very good at it. You take it up. But there was one rule. Karna said, if Bhishma is on the war field, I will not enter that war field. So only after Bhishma goes to the Sharatalpam, Karna comes. There is a lot of internal politics. They say, right, all parties should come together, all parties. Within the party, there has to be a talking, right? They have to agree to each other's ideologies. Here, Karna and Bhishma won't look into it. So, Karna did not come to the war field.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection.
Yo, this is Siri.
Try again.
I thought I had said something wrong. Huh? Suddenly there is one Akashavani from here. Huh? Okay. Bhishma said, okay, let us all fight. We will have some rules. So he was the eldest person. Yudhishthira said, we will agree to what you say. And he kept Drishtadhyumna as the commander-in-chief. Because Krishna said, see, all of you keep your mobile data on. He told Pandavas, every now and then I will give some messages. Just follow, don't ask me why. You keep Drishtadhyumna because Drishtadhyumna was born to kill Drona. Only when you keep a person who's your death in front of you, you will do mistakes. So Krishna said, you keep him as the commander-in-chief. Though Drishtadhyumna was very much young. So this war was happening. Now, previous to the war, there was a little politics played there. Krishna's sister was married to Arjuna. So Arjuna is the son-in-law as well as the cousin. Correct? Krishna's son was married to Duryodhana's daughter. Duryodhana had a daughter called Lakshmana. She was married to Krishna and Jambavati's son called Shambha. So Duryodhana was sambandhi with Krishna. And Arjuna was the son-in-law of the house. So he had the duty to help both the people. That is when Shakuni tells, you use this relationship and go get his help. He goes, you know that incident, he sat near Krishna's head while Krishna was having a siesta. And then Arjuna comes later, he sits at the feet. Krishna wakes up and says, Arjuna, when did you come? Duryodhana gets rattled and angry. He says, I came first. Okay, Duryodhana, don't get angry. See, when you wake up, you will wake up like this. You won't turn back and wake. You should have come and sat where I woke up. Anyways, now I duty bound to help the both of you. On one side, I will give the entire army. Rafale, MG30, 300, everything, AK, everything I'll give. One side. The other side, it is only me. You can choose. Duryodhana said, I will choose. Krishna said, no. Shastram tells the younger one should be given the option first. Arjuna, you choose. Arjuna said, undoubtedly, I want you. Duryodhana was very happy. Okay, let Arjuna take you. He's my brother after all. I will take the army. And he grinned this year to that year and went to Shakuni's chamber. Uncle, Mama, we have won the army. He said, keep quiet. Where is Krishna? On the other side. You are losing. You have left that man the other side and you brought the army here, useless fellow. You go and tell him, Krishna, I forgot to ask part B of that boon. You go. You go tell him that he should not use any weapon in the yuddham. He goes, Krishna, you should not use any weapon. Emoticon. He does this. Now everybody has become Sharanagata. In the WhatsApp message, everybody puts this palm. There is a lecture of mine, they put this palm. I don't know whether they want me to stop sending the messages. Sakappa, namge yav message kalispedi. You know, you can interpret, we can become matacharyas, we can interpret the way we want. So, Krishna said, okay, I will not use weapon. After he left, Arjuna said, Krishna, you are Varadaraja, I know. You should think and give varams. If you don't want to fight, how will you enter the battlefield? See, imagine I want to go to the border where Russia and Ukraine are fighting. Somebody asks, what are you going to do? I'm just going to see what they are doing. No audience is allowed in the battlefield. You have to either fight. What will you do in a battlefield without using weapons? Krishna said, cool. Send your charioteer on a casual leave for 20 days. You know, by the end of the year, all the leaves will get lapsed. You ask him to use it. If I send him, how will my chariot go? I will become your Sarathi. Sarathi doesn't have to use weapons. I will be closer to you as well. And let us all form a group, V5. I will keep sending messages. Just listen to me. So, Krishna, what did he say? I will not use weapons. That night, Bhishma Acharya called for a press conference. He said, press people asked, sir, why have you called us in the mid of the night? Tomorrow the Yuddham is going to begin. I wish to throw a challenge to the king of Dwaraka. To Krishna. Yes. What has he challenged? Asked Bhishma. The journalist said that he will not use weapons. I challenge. I will make him lift the weapon. Next, Times of Hastinapura newspaper. On one side, Krishna vows not to use weapon. On the other side, Bhishma challenges, he will break that vow. Who will win? Let us see. This is there. See, I may do it in my own fashion. It is found in Mahabharata. First day onwards, the Yuddham began. Bhishma Acharya is hurling arrows, then Arjuna is hurling arrows. 2 days, 3 days, 4th day, 5th day, Rukmini said, Krishna, you have lost so much of weight. I've made some undiyo for you. She's from Gujarat. Undiyo and chunda. Have it with this tepla. Krishna, you have lost weight. Krishna too felt me at face value. I have left all my administrative work in Dwaraka and become their charioteer. He thinks he can make me permanent. Permanently, you become my driver. On the 10th day, Krishna got angry. This is not the way a dharma yuddham should happen. He jumped from his ratham. Tamatta chakram pranadattumuchaihi kruddham mahendra varajam samiksham sarvani bhutani bhrisham vineduhu kshayam kurunamiti chintayitva savasudeva pragrihita chakraha sambartayishyanniva jivalokam abhyutpatan loka gurur babhase bhutani drakshanniva dhumaketuhu, says Vyasa. The moment Krishna jumped with that anger, for a moment the battle stopped, it seems. People looked at him, they felt that the god of destruction, Trayambaka, Shiva, has come to the battlefield. Krishna was very pleasant in his countenance. For a minute he had Nrsimha in him. He jumped from his chariot. He took a wheel that fell off a chariot and put it in high air and took that as discus. Alakalalla Ladagani, says Tyagaraja, his hair went to and fro. With that he started running towards the chariot of Bhishma. You know what Bhishma did? He put all his weapons down. He said, Krishna, I was waiting for this minute when you will kill me for the injustice that I have been witness to in the court when Draupadi cried. I should be killed by you. I should get moksham this very minute, Krishna. That is when comes Bhishma Stuti. Tribhuvana Kamalam Tamala Varnam Ravikara Gauravambaram Dadhane Vapura Alaka Kula Vritananabjam Vijayasakhe Ratirastu Menavadya, says Bhishma. I should be killed by you. Come. Then Arjuna comes running and says, Krishna, tomorrow people will say that Krishna did so much for Arjuna. But Arjuna did not help Krishna keep up his promise of not using the weapon. He forced him to lift the weapon. I do not want that blot, that blemish to fall on you. Krishna, I will fight seriously. You come. Next day paper, Bhishma won. Because Bhishma made Krishna lift the weapon, right? Immediately people ask Krishna, how do you feel now? Reality show. Even if that person doesn't feel that much, they will make him cry, they will put one background music. Then they will show one tear. Krishna said, I am very happy. I am happy that I have lost and Bhishma has won. Why do you feel so? He just gave a smirk and went. Why? Bhishma tells this as a nama in Vishnu Sahasranamam. Chalaha. Eko naikasavah kakkim yattat padamanuttamam loka bandhur lokanato. If you know, you can recite. Eko naikasavah kakkim yattat padaman. Today is the last Saturday of the Purattasi month. Eko naikasavah kahkim yattat padamanuttamam loka bandhur lokanatho madhavo bhaktavatsalaha suvarnavarno hemango varangas chandanangadi viraha vishamashunyo dhrita shira chalas chalaha. Chalaha. So the name of Narayana is Chalaha. What does Chalaha mean? I will read out the Vyakhyanam here. Sahyavadhiritanu yudha sparsha samayaha samriddha chakro bhishmam achakrama yatha dhatuhu pragvat pratyayancha दूत्याधिकारादौ अनपत्रपिष्णुवि प्रयोजिकतया भक्तेष्वानुग्रहयुतया मानः चित्तसमुन्नतिः अस्यास्तिः मानी सः चलः. The one who loves to face defeat at the hands of his devotees is called Chalaha. He wants us to win. He wants himself to lose. he is called Chalaha. So God is so accessible. He always does not want to win. He wants to lose to his devotees. So he is called Chalaha. So what is the fourth feature of Vishnu Sahasranamam? Bhishmotkrishtha Matatvataha. That great Bhishma has uttered these names. What is the fifth one? This is the most relatable part to Sahasranama. Whatever I have spoken is beautiful. But now you will relate. What is the fifth one? Parigrahati Shayataha. All of them have accepted Vishnu Sahasranama. Who, sir? All. He lists down. Now, he says, Sutika Grihavarnane. There is a work in Sanskritam called Kadambari by a great poet called? Very good. Banabhatta. Banabhatta in Kadambari describes one labor ward. In that, it's a big novel. In that novel, he describes a labor room where women will come deliver. Towards the end of a Sutika Griham, it's called Sutika Griham, where women deliver, there was a stage. Kadambari describes, this is the Sanskrit work of the first millennium. It describes, towards the end of that labor room, a group of people will be reciting Vishnu Sahasranamam 24/7, it seems. Because in those days, if you keep listening to Sahasranamam, you are guaranteed a normal delivery. I'll read out this line. Banabhattaha Sutikagriha Varnane Avichinna Pathyamana Narayana Namasahasram. Namasahasram. Vishnu Sahasranamam was recited for normal delivery. He describes. Then he says in one particular line, Japyam Prayaschitte Japyam iti Nana Viprakirana Mule Mehasya Prayaschitte. This is again a line from a Hora Shastram. I am talking 1700 years back, before the Chalukyas. When people used to go with urinary problems to the medical practitioner in that city, Meha Prayaschitte, for their kidney related problems, the prescription used to be recite Vishnu Sahasranamam, Japyam Purusha Suktam Ityarabhya Tathaiva Bhagavan Nama Sahasram. After this, recite Sahasranamam. So if you have people having urinary problems, I am not coming up with my own theory, it is found in the Hora Shastra. Charaka Samhita, our medical book, tells here, Vishnum Sahasra Murdhanam Characharapatim Vibhum Nama Sahasrena Jwaran Sarvan Vyapohati. So Charaka Samhita talks about ailments, how it can be cured. In those days, if you go to a doctor, they used to write down, take these particular concoctions. At the end of it, the doctor used to write, recite Sahasranamam thrice. That Jwaram Sarvan Jwaran Vyapohati. Whatever fever will go. This was there. Now you may ask whether there is a patent, how many of them it is proven and all of that. You have the right to ask. It is a democratic country. I am quoting what Parashara Bhatta has said. He lived between the 11th and 12th century. If you go to Vaikuntham, go and ask him. Okay. Now, is there an example, living example to this? One saint who lived in the last 100 years, the great sage of Kanchi called Chandrasekharendra Saraswati or Paramacharya, while he was camping in the 1960s in Royapetta in Chennai, he had 104 fever. The Sishyas got worried and they said, should we call the doctor? He said, no. Call 150 people who have learnt Vedam. They called immediately. He commanded, recite Sahasranamam of Vishnu thrice in front of me. They recited. By the end of 1.5 hours, it came to normalcy. So, Charaka Samhita states Sarvan Jwaran Vyapohati. Paramacharya is a living example. There is a theory, there is a practical. It tells if you have got respiratory problems, recite Vishnu Sahasranamam. Because Vishnu Sahasranamam has been made a panacea. There, he says in one particular line, Graha Bhedadi, if you have problems because of Navagraham in your life, they will cause some one problem or the other. See, today you are here. You know how Navagrahas have worked. So, even for Graha Pida, in those days they used to recite Vishnu Sahasranamam. See, such an inexpensive, such a priceless Prayaschittam is Sahasranamam. So Sahasranamam is so important. Now, Mahapatakattvadi, even when your children are going abroad, you will have the worry whether the flight will land properly and all of that, right? Recite Vishnu Sahasranamam. So whatever problems you have, Shastram tells Vishnu Sahasranamam is the only solution. So much so that it is mentioned in the anecdotes, in the Aitihyam, that Bhagavad Pada after doing the Bhashyam of Prasthanatrayam, Brahma Sutram, Upanishad and Gita, he wanted to do a Bhashyam for Lalita Sahasranama. Because if there is one Sahasranamam which can get as close as Vishnu Sahasranamam in popularity, it is Lalita Sahasranamam. It is a part of Brahmanda Purana. So Bhagavad Pada is supposed to have told his student, go get the manuscript of Lalita Sahasranama. The student went and got the manuscript. He opened. He thought he will recite the line Shri Mata, Shri Maharagi, Lokatita, Gunatita, Sarvatita, Samatika. It started with Vishnu, Vishpam Vishnu. You got the wrong manuscript. Go get Lalita Sahasranama. He went again. Again he got one manuscript. Again it was written Vishpam Vishnu Vashatkaro. How are you getting this? That is when the student said, I saw a little girl standing and giving me this manuscript. That little girl was none other than Parvati, who said, you do Vyakhyanam for Vishnu Sahasranama. This is the panacea for all. Okay. Now, last feature of Vishnu Sahasranama. First, Mahabharata Saratvat. The essence of Mahabharata is Vishnu Sahasranamam. Rishibhif Pariganataha. These names have been chosen by rishis who have internalized and had a sakshatkara of Bhagavan. Vedacharya Samaharat, the one who has divided and compiled the Vedas as Rig, Yajuhu, Sama, Atharvanam, called Krishna Dvaipayana or Vyasa, who has given us Mahabharatam, is the same one who has given Sahasranamam. Vedacharya Samaharat. Fourth, Bhishmot Krishna Matatvataha, the great Bhishma whom Krishna thought has uttered these names. Fifth, Parigrahati Shayataha, every medical practitioner, every logician. In fact, it is said there. I will read out this line. Abala Mukha Murkha Purusha Stri Nastikopeshajam. Vishnu Sahasranamam will grant full phalam even to a Nastika, it seems. Even if the person says, I don't believe in religion, I don't believe in Vedas, I don't believe, that's his right. See, Sanatana Dharma welcomes even atheists. But even atheists should debate logically and should be well read. Both. You have to be an atheist also, you need two qualifications. Right? So, even Nastikas will get phalam. Imagine they say, we don't believe in Vedas. We don't believe in this system. They will still get phalam if they recite Vishnu Sahasranama. There is no compulsion that you have to believe in it. Abala Mukha Paryanta Purusha Stri Nastika Veshayoho, he says. Now, what is the sixth feature, sir? Before that, I have to tell one namam. We say that he is the doctor. How do we know? Bishak. There is one namam in Vishnu Sahasranam. Bishak means physician. Alvar tells, Maruttuvanayininna Mamani Vannan. He himself is the doctor. Now, last part. Gita Taikartha Kaschanaha. Vishnu Sahasranamam is the essence of Bhagavad Gita too. See. Who gave us Bhagavad Gita? Paramatma himself uttered. Who gave us Vishnu Sahasranama? Bhishmacharya. You tell me honestly, in this world, more people know Vishnu Sahasranama by heart or Bhagavad Gita by heart? So even if the Lord chooses to say something, we ignore that. But when his devotee says something, we won't ignore that. Nine doddavano ninna daesare doddavaro, says Dasa. Are you the one who is to be propitiated, or it is your devotees? Correct. See, Sanatana Dharma has a very tricky thing here. I'll tell you how tricky it is. Who is the one who controls the creation? It is the Lord. Who is the one who is the creation? The Lord. Who is the one who is in the creation? It is the Lord. remember this sentence. The Western religions treat the creator and the creation as two distinct entities. The creator has created the world. That is why when we say we have to say Vande Mataram, worship the motherland, they say no. This is a creation. We will worship only the creator. See, here we are not here to criticize them. I am just telling you their postulate. But in Sanatana Dharma, which is the Eastern philosophy, 3 sentences you have to remember. There is a creator and there is a creation. Sentence number 1. Sentence number 2. The creator is in the creation. Third sentence. The creator is the creation. 3 sentences you remember, you will understand Sanatana Dharma slightly in a better fashion. That is why when you look at the mountains that have been drenched in torrential rainfall for 4 months, you will see a thin layer of moss on it. When the moon's rays fall on the mountains, which are smeared in moss, a fluorescence emanates out of it. That very minute, the mystic saint writes, Pachai Mamalai Pol Meni. You don't have to go to Sri Rangam, look at the Lord and say he represents the Emerald Mountain. Just looking at a normal Nandi hills, you should be reminded of the Lord, because the hill is also the Lord. Many of them ask, sir, Tirupati is always a tension sthalam. Till you get darshanam, you can never be sure whether you will have darshanam or not. You may have the best ticket. That Lord will keep us on pins and needles. Till that last minute, many of them who are physically challenged, they will ask, sir, what should we do? Of course, there are some facilities, but remember, the moment you step on that Divyadesham, just that hill, it means you have had a darshanam. You don't necessarily have to go to a temple. Remember this line. Yakashiti na chakashiti bhuvisa yodhyeti nadhyasyate. Sa avantiti kalmashadavadisa kanchiti nodanchari dhatte sa madhuretti notta maduram nanyapi manyapuri yavai kuntha katara samrita bhujam rocheta nocheta says Vedanta Deshika and Rahasyatraya Saram. It is called Divya Desham. The sthalam is important for us. What is the hill? Vedanta Deshika says the hill is a solidified form of the Lord's mercy, which is like a candy. See, when you take a sugar cane, it has got leaves at the top, roots at the bottom, it has cuts in the middle, it is dark hued. The central portion is what is important, not the roots, not the leaves. You take this sugar cane and put it into the crushing machine, and what you get is the essence called the sugar cane juice. That sugar cane juice, after your consumption, when fermented, becomes a candy, and over a period of time it becomes so rock solid. Similarly, Deshika says the one who is standing atop the hill is a sugar cane. His crown is so tall like the leaves of sugar cane. Take it away. The pitham that supports his lotus feet is like the root. Take the pitham away. You get head to toe with Bhagavan alone. He's like the sugar cane. He's dark hued like the sugar cane. The sugar cane has cuts in the middle. The Lord has a beautiful necklace, a girdle, and an anklet, gold color on his body. He also looks like a sugar cane. For the sugar cane, you needed a machine. For the Lord, take bhakti as the machine and crush him in the machine. What you get is love and mercy. Because the Lord is a personification of daya. That Lord's daya of Tirupati, like how the sugarcane juice is solidified to become a candy, has become Tirumala hill, it seems. So the hill that you go is equivalent to the solidified form of Srinivasa's mercy. So the moment you step on the Divyadesham, it means you've seen the Lord. Why? Because the hill is the Lord. The creation is the Lord. Where is the Lord? He is in the creation. Who has made that creation? The Lord. Sir, ಏನು ಅವರೇ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟರು, ಅವರೇ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆನೂ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? Yes. Tomorrow I'll be explaining how he is a part of that creation. Now I'll come back to the topic. Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna had a simple question. Should I fight my relatives or not? One is my half brother, one is my step brother, one is my uncle, one is my guru. They are all known people to me, all A positive. Why should I kill my own brothers? Krishna said, all these days while I was telling you this, you said you will fight. After coming to the battlefield, now you realize he's A positive. Rathasthapaya Achyuta, keep the chariot in the middle. I want to see like an arbitrator how these both sides look. Krishna agreed. He was a correct driver. He put the chariot in the middle. Arjuna, have you seen? Yes, Krishna, I feel a bit confused. On the other side, Duryodhana was amazed. He was asking Bhishma, instead of fighting, what are these two men talking? Talking, you can go to BVB. Bharati Vidya Bhavan, there the lecture is happening. Pravachanake Kurukshetra Bhumina. What are these two people talking? Krishna should have just stood up. He should have just stood up and looked at Arjuna with his eyes. The moment he would have shown those eyes that look like 1,000 suns melted together, Arjuna would have said, I will fight. You know what Krishna did? Arjuna Vishada Yogam, Sankhya Yogam, Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Devasura Vibhaga Yogam, Bhakti, Raja Guhya, Raja Yogam, 700 verses. Arjuna sat like this. What question I asked? What is he answering? I asked whether I should fight or not. If I kill them, they will die. He is telling about Sthita Prajna. There are 4 stages. There is Parabhakti, Parajnana, Paramabhakti. Karma Yogam and Jnana Yogam is the Angam for Bhakti Yogam, which is a vehicle which takes the Jivatma and the Archiradhikati. What, Krishna? What have I asked and what are you answering? Then Krishna did, it seems. Is that there in Mahabharatam? No. Alvar mentions that. Why? Because Krishna was so benevolent to Draupadi, from the moment she was humiliated, he always felt a burden that he was carrying. He wanted to somehow compensate for her. He is Jnana himself. He is Upanishad himself. He is the essence of Upanishad himself. By mistake, he just let it open. The moment was not let to give Bhagavad Gita. But by mistake he did that. After he did that, he realized, I shouldn't have told this, I shouldn't have told this. So Bhagavad Gita was given out of love for Draupadi to Arjuna. Okay. Now, what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? It is found in Vishnu Sahasranamam. What is the essence? I will read out these 2 lines. Very important they are. Bharata Siddhanta Bhuta Jagad Narayaniya. What is Narayaniya? What is Narayaniyam? എന്താണ് നാരായണീയം? പറയാം. അറിയല്ലോ. Narayana Bhattadri gave us Narayaniyam in the 16th century, sir. You don't know this, you have come to give lecture in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. No. There is one Narayaniyam inside Mahabharatam. That Narayaniyam is different, this Narayaniyam is different. Okay, so there is one Narayaniyam in Mahabharatam. Narayaniya, Yana Sandhya, Agra Puja, Anushasana Prabhriti Pradeshantara Tatparya Nishkarsha Rupatvaine Tadekarthatvacha Evamedbihi Shadarthi Hetubihi Preksha Purvikanam Paramopadeyataya Nirnitam Vyasadeva Devashravaha Asthana, Narada, Vatsya, Sumantu, Prabhritibihi, Sakala Vidyadeshikair, Brahmadrishta, Dig Deva, Brahmana Rishibihi, Swayamcha Bhagavata, Sarveshwarena, Gitopanishadacharyena, Purvashamapi Guruna, Pundarika Vilochanena, Shrotrikoti Nivishtena, Jipyamatushruma Maditam, Sriman Nama Sahasradhyayam, Bhagavad Guna Samapta, Pratyevam Kurmahe. 1 line. Now, what does the essence of Gita give? Essence of Gita says that he is the one who will come and protect the devotee. Arjuna was confused. He immediately came to the rescue. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells about one concept. I'm sure you are all experts in Bhagavad Gita. I'm just giving you an example. It's called as Jati Smaraha. See, Krishna gives one very tricky thing. He says if you're a Bhakti Yoga practitioner, when your Atma is about to depart from the body, from the Shariram, only if you think of me as having all gunas will you get moksham. I'll repeat the sentence. Think about it. Some food for thought for the night. Krishna tells, this is the body. Pancha Bhautika Shariram. There is a Jivatma. This Jivatma in this Shariram thinks that I should not be born again. Punarjanmam is not needed. I should finish off this cycle because we have been being born for so many janmas. Ultimately, this Jivatma belongs to Paramatma and it has to go to an abode from where there can be no return. Nasapunaravartate, nasapunahavartate. Krishna tells you can get that moksham. But there is only one way, Arjuna. While your Jivatma is departing from the body, just about to depart, you have to think of me as having all the gunas and meditate on me. While meditating, the Jivatma departs, then you will not be born again. Arjuna sat in agony. How will we all die? Imagine we are naturally dying whether in the house or in the hospital. There is one machine next to us. Nurses are coming and attending to us. The Jivatma is about to depart, and that is when you get the excruciating pain called as Bhaimarathi. That pain is called Bhaimarathi, that excruciating pain. When the Jivatma departs, that moment I have to think of the Lord. Is it possible? It is so tough. That is when Krishna tells, see, I will give you another. See, only when you give the toughness of one, the student will ask, please give us a better solution. He says, for a moment you forget Bhakti Yogam and do Sharanagati to me. Sarvadharman Parityaja, you say that Krishna, I am incapable of thinking of all of that. You have to protect me. I will do. See, Krishna wants us to open our mouth and say, I am incapable. But we won't say ego problem. Adalla illa sir, khandita nangen baralva. Naan ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. This naan ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Punarapi jananam. Now India, next. Kailasha. Which Kailasha? Punarapi jananam. Punarapi maranam. So, he says the essence of Gita is you will have to surrender to him. Mamekam sharanam braja. You are the, Krishna's stuti stotaranah priyaha he is called. He loves praises. You have to go tell him, Neene Krishna, Neene idya, vere yaru illa nanna rakshana madake. He loves that. Why should I tell him? Like a mother that protects the child, he has to protect. This ahankaram will not work in bhakti. Next, Afghanistan, Pakistan, every. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. As the Jivatma departs, karma will assign one account. There, Pumsavanam is happening for a lady in Bihar. The Jivatma go there. Now we were having Bisibele Bath. Next Janma, there we'll have dal, whatever, that roti. Then from there we will have to go to another place. We may have, suppose we have to go to China. Anything can happen. That is why our acharyas say. You may ask, sir, is the concept of rebirth proven? They say, for a moment you believe this is true. And for a moment you believe that you have to perform Sharanagati. For a moment you think this will fructify. Imagine the result. You don't have to spend anything to surrender. It is only your thought. What are you losing by doing this? Correct? So this is what our acharyas say. Nevertheless. Now, what is the best example that Krishna protects his devotees? That is when Gajendra Moksha Vrittantam comes into picture. Why? If karma is powerful, you don't have to be bitten by a snake. Remember this line. Karma doesn't mean physically you have to get bitten. At times snakes can come in your dreams as well. See, when you are dreaming of a snake biting you, you won't know that it is actually a dream until you're woken. When you're dreaming, you still feel the pain. That pain is through which karma gets minused. So, karma account, it doesn't mean, okay, today I've attended an interview, today it did not click. That is not the way karma works, mention our acharyas. Even in our dreams. That is why there is one nama, Duswapna Nashanaha. Essence of Gita is thinking of the Lord. But to think of the Lord, karma comes in the middle. If karma comes in the middle, you have bad dreams. So, Duswapna Nashanaha. In Srimad Ramayanam, Bharata dreams of his father naked, falling into a huge pit of cow dung. It comes in Ayodhya Kandam. Actually, that moment, Dasharatha was dead. He was in Kekeya Desham. He tells Shatrughna, something bad has happened in our family. That is when the messenger comes. So in Srimad Ramayanam, we get this concept of bad dream. Duswapna Nashanaha. So what is the way to get good dreams, sir? You tell that. Sahasranamam tells, think of Gajendra Moksham every night. Before you sleep. I would have spoken for 3 hours. You can't remember that. Last 1 minute. You should think of a beautiful set of hills. Trikuta Parvatam. At the base camp is a tatakam full of lotuses. An elephant is coming with a herd. It tries to pluck one flower. The elephant has raised the flower with such style and elegance, and it wants to pose to the female elephants and wants to get out of it. That is when one of its foot is caught in the jaws of a virulent crocodile. It cries. It tries to rescue itself from the jaws of the crocodile. When it fails to, it calls the Lord for help. Adi Bijaya, Adi Avyaktaya, Purushaya, Ruchaye, Sakshine. That is when this wail of the elephant is heard by the deities. Naham, Naham, Nachaham. Each deity said, it did not call me. It did not call me. Because the word used by the elephant was the one who is the causeless cause. He should be the cause of everything. But there should be no cause for him. Causeless cause. That causeless cause should... See, the elephant was very specific. See, when you're in pain, what you'll say? Yara didira. The one who has, will you say, say I'm in pain, but the one who has got Shankha Chakra Mudra on his hand should only come and rescue. Will you say this? But the elephant was super intelligent. Now, see, when Bhagavatam is being told, there was a great narrator, Pravachanakarta of our state. He lived till a few years back. Bannaji Govindacharya. What a great Pravachanakarta he was. The state has produced such great people. Every state has got Pravachanakartas. So, every time we do a Bhagavata Upanyasam or Saptaham, they'll say, the elephant was caught in the jaws of the crocodile. Then the elephant said, Adi Bijaya, Adi Avyaktaya. All of us will nod our heads, put our palms together. But your grandchild will ask, how can the elephant speak Samskrita shlokams? Imagine the elephant opening its trunks. Adi Bijaya. Will it be like Lion King? Lion's talk. How can you say elephant speak? Remember, the elephant would have not directly uttered the shlokam. Shuka Brahmam has transcribed its cry into a shlokam. There's a difference. See, for example, if you go to many houses, they'll have pets. What is her name? No, generally I ask, is this your dog? Don't call her dog. Her name is Pearl. Pearl, are you feeling hungry? They will ask Pearl. Will Pearl reply? Pearl won't reply. Where will Pearl talk? But the owner of the dog, the friend of the dog, is able to decipher its body language. See, communication doesn't have to be the way we want it to be. So Shuka Brahmam knew what was going inside the elephant's head, because the elephant was a Pandya Raja called Indradyumna in his previous birth. He was continuing his Bhakti Yogam in this Janma. So he transcribed the wail of that elephant into Gajendra Stuti. So what happened? The wail of the elephant was heard in Vaikuntham. What was the Lord doing? He was playing something with his wife. Always he is cool. He is playing with his wife. Potanna tells it in Bhagavatam. Any Telugu speaking Astikas here? Telugu knowing Astikas here? Any Chiranjeevi knowing Astikas here? Okay. Alavaikuntapurambulo nagarilo namula saudambudapala mandaravanantaramrita saraf prantendukantopalot పర్యంక రమా వినోదియగు నాపన్న ప్రసన్నుడు విహ్వల నాగేంద్రము పాహి పాహి అని గుయ్యాలించి సంరంభియై. Potanna in his Bhagavatam tells, when the elephant was crying for help in Alavaikunta Purambulo, in Vaikuntham, how was the scene? Nagarilo namula saudambudapala mandara vanantaramrita saraf prantendukantopalotpala. Look at the word. I can't break it anywhere. Paryanka Rama Vinodiyagu. Along with Rama, his wife. Who is Rama? Lakshmi is called Rama. So with Rama he was playing. Rama Vinodiyagu napanna prasannudu. While he was playing with the pleasing face, Vihvala Nagendramu, that elephant which was in excruciating pain, it said, Pahi, Pahi, please protect me. Yani Guyalinchi Samrambhiyai. That moment he jumped out. This, if you think every night, you will not get bad dreams, says the Vyakhyaanakarta. Duswapna Nashaya Namaha. See, I was talking about this in the US 2 months back. Alavaikunta Purambulo, Nagarilo. I did it in Todi, Kalyani, every ragam. Alavaikunta Purambulo. One person raised the hand. Who, sir, what is this? Sir, this is Potanna Bhagavatam. Ledandi, the Allu Arjun garu. Chala chitramu. So, we have reached a place where Potanna has to fight with Allu Arjun to get back the copyright of his Bhagavatam. Alavaikunta Purambulo Nagarilo. So, what are the 6 features of Vishnu Sahasranamam? Mahabharata Saratvat. The essence of Mahabharatam, 1,25,000 verses, is in this 1,000 names. Mahabharata Saratvat. Why are the 1,000 names important? They have been chosen by the realized rishis, Rishibhiv Pariganataha, who has compiled them for us. The one who's peerless, called Vedavyasa, Vedacharya Samaharat, who has uttered these names. Bhishmot Krishna Matatvataha, one of the greatest Bhagavatottamas called Bhishma, has uttered. Has this been accepted by everyone? Yes, unanimously. Parigrahati Shayataha. Does this also have Krishna's agreement to it? Gita Taikartha Kaschanaha. The essence of Gita is also found in Sahasranamam. Essence of Mahabharatam, essence of Bhagavad Gita, uttered by the rishis, accepted by all, compiled by Vyasa. What more do we need? So these are the characteristics of Vishnu Sahasranamam. Well, sir, you have mentioned these are the features, salient features of Sahasranamam. But what gave rise to Sahasranamam? Bhishmacharya could have kept his mouth quiet and rested. Why did this Yudhishthira, he has learned Rajya Dharmam, Moksha Dharmam, answered Yaksha Prashnam. Now what doubt did he have? Why did he have to go there? Sir, those 6 questions we keep telling. Kimekam daivatam loke kim vapyekam parayanam stuvantah kam kamarchantaha prapna yurmanava shubham ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo mataha kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. So 6 questions he asked. Some answers Bhishma gave. Were the answers the Sahasranamam or the answers were different from Sahasranamam? You may have. For that you have to come at 10:30 in the morning. Tomorrow if you come, answers for those 6 questions you will have. Tomorrow 10:30 a.m. we will begin. I will try giving now. Tomorrow you will have a better clarity on what questions were asked. It's not simple to decipher because he has commented for about 10 pages on these 6 questions. We will simplify this and understand it better. Again, I'm very thankful to the holy premises of Bharati Vidya Bhavan, all the Astikas who have been toiling to make this such a great success, to the sponsors, to Sri Raghavan, to Suresh, to Badri, so many people whom I know who have showered love. So tomorrow, please do come at 10:30. Namaskaram. Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.
Namaste. No words to thank our wonderful speaker, Dushyanth. And tomorrow, after the discourse, he was mentioning Bisibelebath in his lecture. I did listen to that. So that will be also served tomorrow.
They will
come. So after the conclusion, you will have an arti for the Vishnu, and then you will be served with prasadam. So please be there at 10:30 sharp. We will continue this. Thank you for coming. Namaste.
One small thanks to Suresh sir. Now, just one small announcement. 25th of November, in our same Rajadhani of Karnataka and Bangalore, in Domlur, in Surya Narayana Swami Temple, 25th November 2022. I am telling this twice because again people will ask me. 25th November this year, 2022, in Domlur, in Surya Narayana Swami Temple, evening, for 2.5 hours, I will be giving a Tamil lecture on Sri Rudram. Rudram, which is a part of Vedam. That day I will be speaking on Sri Rudram. It is open for all. Welcome to all. Anybody who wishes can come. Surya Narayana Swami Temple, evening, 25th November. Thank you.
Program going on live, the many thousands of people are watching. Even on the other hall that we have, there are people watching this program. So thanks to everyone who is watching this program and hearing this. Namaskaram. Good night.